Is it about control? Losing the grip, you get old. Turn to the sea, I don't know how, but you found me. Scars. I'll brush you off just like the dust upon my shoulder. I have a hunch of who you are. Believe it or not, I got the strength to blow you over. I'm a hurricane, I'm bringing thunder and rain.
Target acquired.
Eagle 1, first strike. You have permission to engage the target.
Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Mature audiences only. Welcome back. It's going to be a good show tonight. We're going to do some debate prep. We're going to talk some shit probably. And, you know, a lot of stuff going on. So hope everybody's doing well tonight. I've been kind of following the chat, such as it were. Good on all of you for being here. And got to get those numbers up, but that's okay. Good thing. I'm in my... Fuck it. We're going to change it up today. And that's what I did. So, you know, it's easy-ish for me. We'll see. See how it works. Got to block Hanson. That's true. That is a bow. That's a fiber optic sight, not a gyroscope sight. Yeah. Yeah, got all the cool stuff over here. It's all good. Before I start and get too deep into this, we do have a public service announcement for everyone out there who, you know, might think about being a dick.
Everyone does it. Now you can do it too. Shut the fuck up. Shut your mouth. Shut up. Shut the hole in your face. Like that. You can do it. Shh. Shut up. And shut the fuck up.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You can do it too. If you need to. Maybe you don't. Yes, this is a Hoyt Dorado recurve. It is a takedown bow. It you know, breaks down into small pieces. I carry it when I was in Colorado and I would hunt. I would go deep into the woods, and you know, far from the world. I would carry this bow. I do have another recurve that I've had since I was 14. Yeah, 14, 13 or 14. Probably 13. I probably got one when I was 13. And it's a badass bow. It's slick. It is awesome. I've had it forever. It's actually really, still got it. Still shoot it. It's a great bow. It's a Shakespeare Wonder bow. And that's what it's all about. So all of the things. I shoot all of the things. But yeah, we've got I got, you know, the rifles and all that. You might notice some of the rifles are missing. That's because I have been shooting them. I was getting ready for a match, but didn't make it. So we'll shoot next month. It's going to be awesome. Yeah. And so anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I have a debate tomorrow. It's a weird time. It's on WIC TV. Obviously, I'll be restreaming it here for normal people who don't want to interact with all of the weirdos over on WIC's channel. Although I do, if you want to beat your head against a rock, I suppose that running over to WIC's channel and checking that out might be fun. Me personally, I won't do it. And I think he streams mostly to Twitch. He may be doing YouTube, but I think he's mostly a Twitch guy. Twitch poll, you know. The last refuge of the wild leftist that can't stand how wrong they truly are. Anyway, so the debate tomorrow is going to be over Peter Hegseth. You may know Peter. Peter was a Fox News person for a little while. Pretty well informed. He was in the military, and currently he is the Secretary of Defense. Now, Pete, and maybe it's just guys named Pete. Maybe this is just what it is. I just did not get that clean. Maybe it's just something about dudes named Pete. Maybe just people just don't like him. But nobody likes Pete in his new job. It's like showing up the first day of work and you're just like, everybody's like, fuck that guy. Don't like that guy. I just don't like that guy. And so that's what Pete's got going on. So Pete has been busy. He's wound back a bunch of the DEI initiatives. He has, whether you like it or not, he's discontinued a lot of the Biden era initiatives, a lot of which were flagrantly against the law, against policy, and against military code of conduct. But Biden's didn't really care. So Hegseth has been making friends and influencing people since he got there. What was it, like 20 or 30 days ago? Like, he hasn't even been in the room like very long at all. So old Pete, one of the problems with old Pete as far as the status quo is concerned is that he has the audacity to not be a general. Now, I know what you're saying, but Grid, the fuck does that got to do with anything? Not a god dang thing at all, man. Not a dang thing. And he's not even the first Secretary of Defense that wasn't a general. He just happens to be the one that was appointed by Trump that everybody wants to act like is changing the entire world, which would be great if he did, actually. Yeah, so it's anyway. So old Hegseth, he's he's got some stuff going on, guys. He does. So old Pete likes this Signal app. Now, I think I figured out why he does. I think the reason that old Pete likes the Signal app is because the other staffers don't know how to use it, don't want to use it, and are offended by the fact that it's even available, that private citizens can encrypt their messages. So, yeah, So anyway, so Hegseth is under fire right now. He is under fire because he had the nerve to share some information with his wife and his personal attorney in a Signal chat. And the left, especially for some reason NPR, I don't know why NPR is involved in this, but it'll be all right. So NPR is just wound up about this. They just can't get enough, and they're basically saying that because Hegseth shared this classified data with his wife and lawyer, and possibly his brother, that's a breach of security. But it's interesting because it's hard for it to be a breach of security when he's the guy. He is the guy who determines who gets a security clearance and what the standards are. He can say he can literally just walk up to somebody and says, "No, your clearance is pulled, pal. I'm the Secretary of Defense. You're done." And so it's an interesting dichotomy, right? Like, he is the guy. It's not like somebody else decides it's classified and he just goes along with it. He decides. He decides also who classified documents are shared with or not shared with. And by the way, classified documents are often shared depending on what the I guess depending on what the parameters are, I know that people that are cleared for specific information only all the time, even without that information. Yes. Also, 13, he can also declassify classified documents. So, so Lord of Pies, a couple of things. I don't think he's incompetent. I actually think that, yeah, it is part of the debate prep. Thank you, Agripolis. I'm just kind of working through what's gone on, and then we'll go back through what I think the arguments are going to be. I don't think he's unqualified. I think he understands how to be Secretary of Defense better than a lot of people who have served as Secretary of Defense. And he was actually put there specifically to clean house. He's already fired a bunch of people, and that seems to be where all of this noise is coming from, is mostly people that he's fired or relieved of their position, depending on who he's talking to. So it's an interesting thing. Obviously, I don't have a problem with the Secretary of Defense telling his wife and his lawyer what it is. Actually, he does, Lord of Pies. I mean, he can. It doesn't. He is the Secretary of Defense. The only person that he answers to on that is the president. So I don't know what to tell you, man. Also, it wasn't imminent war plans. It was some ideas that he was. I mean, I'd have to find the. Hang on, let me find the. I actually had. Give me 1 second. I had this up earlier. Let's see. Factual point. I have it laid out in what's actual fact and what's not fact. The administration contends information shared by Hegseth was not classified, but even if it was, he has the ability to determine who sees it. He is the Secretary of Defense. He is doing what they told him to do, I guess, and are actually trying to achieve the goals. I'm trying to find. I had actually what Hegseth had actually said about the. Yeah, man, I got too much stuff up on my screen. I'm sorry, guys. This is really bad. So the thing is that Hegseth says that the information shared was not classified, suggesting that while the communication may have been unconventional, it did not violate legal standards for handling classified material. The encrypted communication, the use of Signal encrypted platform, can be argued as measured to maintain confidentiality. Blah blah blah. There seems to be like a real issue with the Signal app. I think that comes from the old school generals who think that if it's not issued by the Army, then it's garbage and nobody should use it, which we all know is garbage. That's not the way that works. Sorry, Lord of Pies. I was looking at something else. I was not looking at my screen. Let me scroll back and see what you had to say. Yeah, so I don't think any of it was classified because it wasn't actual military information. It was just he was just kind of BSing about kind of like, hey, I might do this, I might do that. We're talking about this. Let me find some other stuff. I have like a bunch of clips today. So yeah, so here's the thing, Lord of Pies. The whole deal behind this also is that literally no one has any evidence of this other than Hegseth said, it's a nothing burger, who cares? The information comes from a person not cleared to talk about. Oh, hang on, I got to find the actual quote. I have the quote. Let's see. I had the exact quote. Give me a second. I'll find it. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I just assumed it was really common. So the NPR was the ones that actually broke this story, which is weird. It's NPR. But basically they said that that someone not authorized to speak on it was claiming that that he had shared classified material with his wife and his lawyer. Hegza says, "Hey, it wasn't classified." He uses, I think the use of the Signal app is part of the issue, because it's something that, as of right now, the DoD itself has a hard time dealing with, and they don't like it because they're used to being able to spy on everyone. So the at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, because he can literally classify and declassify things all the time. It's one's still there. I just I was shooting the others, and they're in my gun bag, and I just haven't put up replacements. I just haven't. So let's see. And basically, personally, I think this is the generals that are pissed that Hegzeth was appointed in the first place instead of another general. I think they're pissed, and this is an old boys club kind of deal. The guy who is being loudest about this is this guy. I think his last name's Hall. Hang on a sec. I got it here. I got to work on my opening statement here in a second. So give me a sec. So where is this dude's name? Don Bacon. So this is a Republican representative, Don Bacon, who is a retired Air Force general, is kind of leading the charge in Congress, because he's a general, and he just doesn't like the idea of a non-general being the Secretary of Defense. And it's certainly somebody outside the realm of who they can control. Now, I think personally that this is something that obviously Trump did it on purpose. Trump literally put this guy in office, or in as Secretary of Defense, to completely revamp and clean house in the Department of Defense. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Now, this is the third or fourth time that they have leaked information about Hegzeth. And they just keep doing it. And most of the time it's somebody that is not what's the word I'm looking for? Most of the time, it's some nothing burger that they blow up, and it's somebody that they fired. Now, he has fired a bunch of people, and that has really pissed people off. Is that what it is, Seth Spence? I didn't know that. I know that they're really pissed about this Signal app, because as of right now, the DoD can't listen in on Signal communications because of the encryption, and they're really, really pissed off. Yeah, I mean, you call it the deep state, the military, old boy network, whatever. They do actually want. First of all, Anson's right. They do want a warmonger, and they do want. They want somebody that is part of their club, and Trump really pissed these dudes off when he put Hegzeth in there. And it's just crazy. So it's going to be interesting. So I think my opening statement will be, and I'll refine it later. I'm not going to actually do the opening statement, but if we can do that. Now, I do have something. This is just in from Admiral Gibbs. Let me pull this up and see if I can make this work. Now, this is a 2v2 debate on WIC TV tomorrow. It's me and Admiral Gibbs versus the crybaby himself, the Alex Kirsch Project, and Miss Rage Quit, Katyushka, Anson's communist lady. And it's going to be lit. Got to tell you, there's just no way. This is going to be just incredible. There's going to be an incredible debate, and it's going to be quite awesome. So Admiral Gibbs has sent me a picture. Man, I don't know. This is a tough one, ladies and gentlemen. But hang on, I'm going to share this. Now, you guys might have remembered that we were on with Connor yesterday, and or the other day, and Connor had a lot of things to say about us, and here we go. We've unmasked Connor. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. That is the great Admiral Gibbs, and that is Connor. You heard it here first, folks. Admiral Gibbs is getting it going. He can't wait. He's memeing it up. He is picking a fight with a very specific person. So I didn't realize that Connor's degree was from DeVry. Is that even a thing? Does DeVry even exist? Can somebody help me out with that? I'm not really sure if DeVry still exists. He would have got away with it too if it hadn't been for those darn kids and Admiral Gibbs. That's funny. That is funny. ITT Tech. Okay, is that what DeVry became? That's pretty fucking funny. Yeah. So we've got so it's Admiral Gibbs versus Katyushka or whatever his name is, and oh no, we got a clip, guys. Got a clip. Got a clip. Stand by. Got a clip. This is great. This is a gift. This is just a day that keeps on giving. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me unmute that bad boy. I'm going to turn the volume all the way up because it's Twitch and it sucks nuts. All right, you ready? Here we go.
No. You are
Where's my volume?
You are subhuman.
My volume.
You can't
say that.
understand complex ideas. You don't understand complex ideas.
It's not a complex idea. You're rejecting complex ideas.
No,
yeah,
I'm
basically,
not.
this is
I'm
what we
really
Connor, wait. Give them credit.
Lactoid.
I got a definition.
I think they're right about something.
Lactoid. In law, did you ever have to study psychology? Because I think what we're experiencing right here is one word: projection. He's so dumb that he can't understand complex topics. So his defense is to call us dumb whenever we point out the inconsistencies of this argument. You know, subhuman. That's a very Nazi argument. Do you have your white pointy hat anywhere? Because that's what I'm waiting for next.
Yeah, I'm more racist than you. I also believe in eugenics. I still think you're a massive retarded piece of shit, and I wish that you would get a vasectomy.
We got a racist eugenics guy here. That's good, guys.
Very strange. Weird. Alrighty, well, there we go. It's funny, I couldn't hear it. That is weird. Let's try something else. I did have to tear my setup completely down today, and I may have messed up something, so... All right, let's see if we got anything else from Gibbs. Gibbs has been he's been on it today, man. Oh well. All right. Anyway, why is this not coming through clearly? All right, guys, give me 1 second here. Sorry, guys. There's always some weirdness when I change the studio around, so I'm not really probably got a setting out of whack somewhere. But we'll find out. CL, I'm not mad at anybody. If anybody wants to come up, that's fine. You can come on up. Let me get the link. I forgot to put it in the mod chat. I'll do that now. We can get into some of the back and forth and all that. So give me 1 sec. I will get that done. Kissy Cat can come up. Don't be mean. What's wrong with you guys? Kissy Cat's cool. Connor was hilarious the other night. Like I couldn't believe that he was like fighting all the nonsense that he was. Anson, you should come up. I can't see any mean comments. Yes, mods, please get the young Anson a link. That was weird. Okay. You got the link yet, Anson? If not, I'll drop it for you. Kissy Cat, do you want the link while I'm at it? Kissy Cat, if you want the link, I'll give you the link. All right. Well, it's going to be fun because Anson's going to be great to talk to about this upcoming debate. What's up, John Smith? How are you, sir? How are you? Things are doing well, actually. It's we're having a pretty good show. We're talking about some cool stuff. I did get that clip from the other day. If you guys didn't see it, it was sent to me. It was great. It's a great clip. Let me find that really quick. It was actually, it's so funny. I like funny things. And it was awesome. If I can find it again, where'd I do with it? What is up, Anson? How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing all right, man. I'm wearing my nice pink shirt today. Color really pops on camera. So,
give me 1 sec. I got something going on with my speakers, Anson. I don't have sound for some reason. I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me? Hold on. It might be my mic.
So I may have something disconnected.
Check. Yeah, it's showing up fine on my end.
Tested it. It worked fine.
Audio output, speakers, communication, real tech. Check.
Anson.
Check. Checking chicken. Choking chicken. Yeah, I mean my microphone selected is just like normal. Can you not hear me? Well, now I can't hear you, Grid. What'd you do? I could hear you just fine a second ago. Yeah, it's not me. Good. Yeah, thanks to Stephen Ockery. Oh, oops. I was like 25. Yeah, now I can't hear you at all, Grid. Yeah, I guess I'll take over the stream because I don't think your audience can hear you either. Hi, stream. How are you? Oh, look, it's Kissy Cat. Hey, Kissy Cat, why aren't you up here? You're supposed to get a link and come up here, and that way you could brag about sponsoring the Saturday night stream.
Test. I know that there's sound. I can see my output.
Apparently, Grid's got a debate he wants me to help him prep for.
Yep, you need to help me prep.
Is this like the other day when you were doing that debate on Discord and you messed up all your settings and you didn't have audio for like the first 30 minutes?
No, not really. It's I tore everything apart today and I unplugged everything and I plugged it all back in, but in doing all of that, I have a mute button on my Stream Deck that when I hit it, and then when I hit it again, my sound comes back on.
Yeah.
And so apparently I hit it when I didn't think I'd hit it. And I'm just sitting here just like randomly talking. So it's fine. But I didn't have sound to start with because I had the wrong output selected. I have too many things going on.
Yeah, it's like buying one of those new washing machines with all them damn buttons on it. I miss the old days when it had like a dial on there and that was all that was on there, Or like these damn cars connected. They're like damn computers you're driving around instead of cars. I hate that stuff. Yep.
Yeah. I don't mind the computer cars, really.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm old fashioned. I don't like new stuff.
I know. You didn't even have to tell me I knew that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got about the let me see if I can find that clip. The clip was awesome. Let me find that.
So what are you debating, Grid? What do I need to help you with?
So I covered it. It's Hexeth, right? We're doing Peter Hexeth, and Spaceman. I cannot find that clip. If you could send that to me again, that would be great.
Is the prompt "How cool is Pete Hegseth"? Is that the prompt?
It ought to be, but no. The prompt. You know what? You're going to hear the prompt. This is how they gay this shit up. Give me one second. No, that's the wrong one. That's not it either. Fuck are these?
Kissy Cat requested a washing machine joke, so I'm gonna make a washing machine joke. So, in order to fix a broken washing machine, you just need to stick a rod in her, and then she'll work perfectly fine.
Okay. So the / be fired.
You kind of went in and out there. Could you give that one more time? For some reason, it like got all glitchy on the screen.
Let me try and clean this up a little bit. Is that better?
Yeah, it's better. Yeah.
Okay. So should Hexeth resign / be fired?
Did they give a reason why he needed to be resign? Why he needed to resign? No.
No.
They just. Oh wow.
I mean, come on, man. They're leftists. What do you want? They're left. You know. It's weird. You think that they would be like based or some shit, but no.
Well, I mean, I'm not a big Trump acolyte, but I haven't found a single reason why he's less competent than any of the other people that have held that position. So.
Yeah, that's true. So, I got this. You probably saw this live. Let me share this screen here. Give me a second, because this was funny. This was so funny. You will remember it. I think maybe. Who knows? So let's see. All right, let's listen to this. This is pretty good. We got Nonfon over there, your buddy.
So I mean, number one, this, citing all these payroll reports, rings hollow when you guys were deciding the BLS job numbers were fake for like Biden's term. We had a lot of good payroll reports under Biden, and you didn't give Biden any credit. You certainly didn't say it was because of free trade we had all those
my
jobs.
argument like that. I never said they were fake.
Your side did, absolutely. But anyway,
well,
even if you
my side is irrelevant to this argument. The points that I have made are relevant to the argument.
Now, hold on, was Biden's economy good?
I'm about to address the point you made.
That's a great question to ask me. You should have asked me. You should have started there. I feel like I'm teaching a class on debate here. Yeah, you should have started there. You should have started with, what is your position on the Biden economy? I don't think Biden's advisors did a particularly horrible job on the economy. The economy wasn't why we needed to get rid of him.
So I mean, number one, this,
that just never gets old, Anson.
Yeah. I mean, you schooled them, and that's that clip that you kept on talking about that you wanted people to.
Yeah, it's so
there
good.
It is. There it is. Yeah.
It was. I mean, to be fair, Mullet Baby is correct. Every jobs report was doctored, revised, heavily slanted. But I didn't make that claim. They just started there because without that as a basis, the rest of it is bullshit. And so what they have to do is and this is a typical I expect this tactic to be used quite a lot tomorrow. Is they will presume your position and state that is in fact your position, even if you've not even said anything along those lines. We're getting rated? Who's rating us?
Mikey Ball.
Mikey Balls is rating us. Mike's Balls. It's all right, man. I like Mikey Balls.
Yeah, he's an all right guy. Him and Naomi's awesome. His lady friend.
Yeah, I've heard that you know they're quite the power couple. I just call them the Mr. and Mrs. Balls, the Ball family.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's an interesting thing to me, right? Like whenever I have an argument with or a discussion with leftists, it kind of goes the same way. Whatever my actual argument is, they don't address it or they spin it so that it's something else completely different. And you have to, you know, guys, if you're debating leftists, you're gonna have to make sure that you just don't let them do that because it's BS, man.
Well, I mean, so rhetorical tricks are normal during debates, Grid. I mean, that was just them
Yeah,
using the tool at their
that was
disposal.
not a rhetorical trick.
Yeah,
he
it was.
literally was introducing an argument that hadn't been made.
Yeah, and that's a rhetorical trick for weak-minded people.
Okay, all right. You left off the last part.
Yeah, well, most people are weak-minded.
Yeah, I guess I give people a lot of credit.
You do, yeah. I mean, you assume that everyone is, you know, as smart as you usually, right? Because that's your worldview and you're normal, right? But most people are idiots.
It's interesting because I actually assume, like I assumed that Connor had gone to a real college as much bullshit as he was talking about college and shit.
Well,
I assumed that he had gone to like a real school, right?
It probably did him good not having gone to a real college.
Maybe. He is Marine, so I kept telling him to eat more crayons. What I really needed was Grumpelstiltskin to be in the audience heckling him.
Well, I don't know. Like, so in your Hegseth debate, Grid, you can point out that there's precedent for both leaks in the Trump administration being used to target Trump and other people for removal for partisan reasons, and so this is just political noise, right? And also, it's also important to remember that as long as he's serving the president in the way the president wants, that's if the moment he stops doing that, that's when he should resign, right? Because he's basically there as a cabinet secretary to execute the will of the president. That's his job. And,
right.
And as long as he's doing that, all of this other stuff is just basically propaganda and noise designed to create political points for the midterm elections, right? This is just clickbait for midterm elections.
Well, it's a little more than that with Hegseth. I agree with you in most cases, but with Hegseth, the old boy network really hates the fact that he's not a general.
Yeah.
They hate it. It burns them right now. And the fact that he's firing generals and he's firing staffers from the Pentagon and the DOD, that's got their balls just lit on fire.
Well, yeah, they work on a
100%.
They work on a patronage system, right? The deep state's supposed to be permanent regardless of who changes the presidency, and he's shaking that up a little bit, right? And so the bureaucracy's going after him. And the one of the worst bureaucracies is the one associated with the military-industrial complex, because you can't really question it, no matter which side of the aisle you are on. You just sort of have to take it. And so that one needs to be cleaned out worse than any of the others.
Well, and that's actually a big thing, right? Like that's a if you do any research at all, you will instantly find that Hegseth is universally hated by the I hate to use the word establishment because they're really not establishment, but the entrenched staffing of generals and other ex-mil or current mil people. And the interesting thing is that we have more generals now than we've ever had, ever. And this is what they do: is they get appointed to a position in the DOD or at the Pentagon in itself, and they live out their entire fucking lives there, Anson. They're like ticks. They're just, once they dig in, you know, you got to get the lit matchstick to get them fuckers out. And it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Well, okay, you got to also, when you're debating, look into the prior people in that position, right? So it's not just the prior precedent of what they did to Trump in his last term with the leaks and things designed to create political points. It's also, historically comparing the Secretary of Defense with prior Secretary of Defenses. I mean, you got like who was that cuck under Obama? Panetta, right?
Yes, Panetta.
So he didn't get fired for the whole Benghazi mishandlement. I mean, that was Secretary of Defense stuff too, right?
But wasn't that when Hillary was Secretary of Defense?
No, she was Secretary of State.
That's Secretary of State. Thank you. Yes.
Right. Yeah. And they did all that troop withdrawal from Iraq, right? They wound down Iraq a little bit, and then it let ISIS flourish, right? And there were all sorts of problems where there wasn't a status of forces agreement negotiated with Iraq, which should have been done, and it was totally mishandled. And the secretary that's partially the Secretary of Defense's fault, not just the Secretary of State, not just Hillary Clinton bungling it, but it was also. Right. And so you can make arguments that things that other prior Secretary of Defenses have done have been more incompetent than what Hegseth has done so far, who hasn't had actually that much time to do incompetent things.
Yeah.
And so, comparing it to other ones is a really good debate tactic. It might be a false equivalency, or they might say you're grasping at straws or whatever, but looking for historical comparisons when you're debating is a really strong tactic.
Well, I think that there are two key factors here that have everybody just with their nuts. Well, two key and many smaller factors that have everyone up in arms about Hegseth. The first is he's not part of the old boys network, and he's firing generals. He's firing their buddies, right? So that right out of the gate, they don't like it. The second is he keeps using the Signal app for a lot of his communications between his staff and everyone else, which the DOD itself can't spy on or crack. So the generals can't read his mail. And there's just nothing that pisses these guys off more than to be out of control, right? Like they can't control this guy. And they're like ticks. Once they get dug in, they never really want to let go. And he is the thing. He's the biggest threat to the DOD Pentagon staffer status quo in probably 30 years.
Well, yeah, and it's like I said, it's a patronage system, right? You go in there, and then whoever's in charge will give you power based on how well you obey them. And if he disrupts that patronage system, then there's going to be a lot of people who have been loyal and done things for the higher ups who are going to feel like they got shafted out of whatever deals they had arranged for their cushy positions, right? So, I mean, it's messing up the power structure.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think I think he just does too many things that pisses him off.
Yeah.
And that's should be readily apparent, the fact that literally he fired four of them just a week or so ago for leaking things to the press. So
yeah, he ought to fire the rest of them.
They really should. I mean, they really should fire. I mean, honestly, I've been putting a lot of thought into this because I didn't actually realize how many current active duty generals there are. And by generals, I'm including admirals. I'm talking about flag rank, right? I didn't realize how top heavy we are. It's crazy right now. What's up, Mikey Balls?
What's up, gentlemen?
Hey, man, how you doing?
Doing good. Appreciate it.
You got some input on the Hegseth thing, man? I know you've been paying attention.
Yeah. Listen, when it comes to the Hegseth thing, listen, regarding Fox, whether it was a conservative side or if it was the liberal side, it didn't matter. It came out right there as proof. You know, we saw the messages. I had it on my phone. That's how quick it was. And I got it straight from Fox. So if you're going to make accusations, the accusation, you need to have some sort of evidence here, something. And if you can't provide it to me, it's null and void.
Well, it's a good point. But I think the interesting thing to me with Hegseth is how many people right now, have no real idea what Hegseth has access to or doesn't or anything else, right? So it's a so you were saying you covered it on your stream. What do you get into?
Well, yeah, I mean, I did cover it briefly.
I mean, you do the news. By the way, everybody, Mikey Balls has like literally one of the best news. Honestly, like one of the best news setups.
Man, I appreciate that, Grid. Very much.
I don't get to listen every day, but I do enjoy listening to it.
Yeah, it's fun. You know, it's definitely a blessing to be able to do. You know, I think that the way that I speak is probably the most majority of how people probably think. You know, not everyone's going to be so blunt like I am. I'm very loud about my opinions.
Sure.
But you know, I
what's actually really great
consensus I've gotten was just people were like, I'm thinking the same shit.
It's actually awesome that you're up here because I was just saying I couldn't remember who he had fired just a couple of weeks ago for leaking things to the press. And it was like 4 or 5 like top level general staffer guys.
Yeah, and I don't know the answer to that. The truth is, yeah, but I did hear about that.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up before tomorrow. Here's the correct answer to Hegseth is Biden, Blinken, Milley, and Austin left 188 billion in military assets to the Taliban, with 13 Americans dead. And you libtards want Hegseth to resign over a text? Fuck you. Always with the win. That's Ghost 1978 has sent that in onto the stream. And by the way, that's baller and that's lit. That's legit. That's legit shit. So yeah, it's interesting. The pushback against Hegseth, right?
Well, that's an easy thing to hop onto, and it's believable.
Yeah.
It's totally believable.
I mean, it's kind of the same bullshit they went through when they went after Trump for having a phone call with Putin. I mean, not Putin, Zelensky.
Yep.
The exact same thing.
Yeah, I mean, what are we going to do here? I mean, take some one person that makes an accusation on somebody, and now and you can't even tell me who that one person is. It's anonymous.
Yeah, that they won't. Yeah, that is not authorized to even comment on.
Yeah, it's like, then don't present it. Like, it doesn't mean anything.
I mean, so I'm with you on this one. I think that it's very interesting overall. There's a to me it seems like a simple debate. I can't think of an argument from the other side that's going to convince me that Hegseth should step down.
No, the only thing they can refer back to is that first negligent part of the first leak, which was legitimate. That's what they would go back to.
Calvin College. Hang on, let me put this up here so everybody can see it. Oop, wrong button. There we go. Trump's call with Zelensky was a weaponization of the office of the presidency. Don't we agree? No, actually, I don't agree with that. I think that what he did was he asked Zelensky to do the right thing after obviously he learned that his predecessors, the Trump, Biden, or pardon me, the Biden, Obama, or Obama and Biden, whichever way you want to say it, after Biden had literally interfered with an investigation in a foreign country. So no, I don't think we can call it a weaponization of the office at all. But even if it were, it should be. It should be, hey, if you don't do this, there's consequences. And actually, there was a Dave Chappelle thing earlier today. It was, I wish I could fucking find it. I don't know if I saved it. Hang on, you guys talk for me. I want to find it. Let's see if I saved it.
So what's up,
if I
Anson?
did, it's funny as fuck.
Well, I'm just sitting here trying to think of different arguments for Grid to use in his debate because he can't he can't empathize with people who are not like him sometimes, and so like you just stated, he
I have a
can't.
problem being dumb, is what Anson's saying.
Yeah, so he can't.
That's
He can't.
okay though. That's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, and so he can't think of the arguments that the commies are going to use.
Right.
And
That's honestly the majority of what I watch is liberal shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's most of the news. The only news I watch is on your stream, Mike.
No, I mean, like I'll watch some crazy ass shit, whether it's like Destiny. I watch all that shit. I study the opponent, dude. Like I definitely want to know every argument that you have, and I'm gonna come up with one better.
Yeah, and so you remember though, Grid, that Hegseth was controversial when he was being confirmed. Like they drug out.
Yeah,
they tried to do what they've done with other conservatives and turn them into some sex fiend or whatever, right? And
Totally.
like and say that he had done inappropriate things with all these women.
Yeah.
And he was an alcoholic, and basically, and so this is
all of it.
So they're just going to recycle all of that into this and just say, and he shouldn't have been confirmed in the first place, so let's just get rid of him, right?
Yep.
It's just going to be
I think that's right. I think that's right.
And that's what's going to happen. You're right. He's totally going to get fired for all this bullshit.
Well, I don't know if he's going to get fired, but
I think that he'll step down or something.
No, I don't. I got to be honest here. I think, and I could be wrong, but I think Trump is so full of I don't give a fuck.
Yes, he is. You're right about that.
That you could literally tell him that Hegseth was lighting, cars on fire in a parking lot or whatever.
Sure.
And Trump would be like, "Yeah, I don't care."
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
Sounds good. Sounds good. It's a growth industry. We should have more of that.
Well, I really honestly think it depends on what Susie Wiles has to say about it, because she's going to be the one that is going to be interfacing with like the political classes as chief of staff, and it's her job to kind of keep the political pulse and figure out how to make sure that the Republicans don't lose the midterms, right? Because this is a political conversation. It's not about whether or not Hegseth actually did anything wrong or any of the facts or anything. That's irrelevant. It's all about whether or not this can be leveraged to any sort of political means for the Democrats and actually be effective for them. And if it becomes a big enough problem for the Republicans in general, then it'll become a problem for Hegseth. That's the only way I could see it changing anything.
Yeah. Sorry, I left that up there. I forgot.
Well, and Hegseth also, came out and said, you guys got nothing, type of thing. And so his attitude was very much, fuck you guys.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, is that I keep going back to, I think it just really, really pisses the DOD and Pentagon off that they are currently unable to listen in, so to speak, on the Signal app. I think it really pisses them off.
Theoretically, if you're going to be talking to any classified information, it needs to be over a government device, right? And that is the one part that I do believe that Hegseth messed up on. Because in the whole beginning of the aspect of the argument, right, how this whole thing started, if he was using his government phone, whether his alibi of like, I didn't know that his phone number was in there, I didn't know, blah, 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 whatever the case is, it's like, well, if you were on your government phone, that contact would have never been there in the first place. So it couldn't have happened. There is a reason why there are guidelines to the way that we communicate within the United States, especially from the government standpoint. Yeah.
So, and another thing that, so you were talking about all the people that have been fired by Hegseth, and so that internal.
Well, it's not just the firing. I should before you go off on that. Let me clarify a couple of things. It's not just the firing. He has also rolled back the initial under Trump's. I wouldn't say doctrine, but under his guidance, he's rolled back a lot of the DEI initiatives. He's I think he did some. Didn't he do something with the uniforms where you can't, you have to dress in the uniform of your gender or whatever? You can't.
Oh shit!
Yeah, men can't wear dresses into the. I think that's it. But yeah, check on that because I could be wrong about that.
That's controversial. How could you be so bigoted?
Well, he's Hegseth. He doesn't give a fuck. He has zero fucks. Like the coolest thing about this dude is he just gives zero fucks. Accuse him of all kinds of sexual stuff. I don't even. Did you see his press release? He was just like, "Yeah, I didn't do that." It wasn't like he didn't rage. He didn't get pissed. He didn't throw shit. He was just like, "Yeah, fuck all y'all."
Yeah. So
that's exactly how his last little, at the White House when they had some cameras on him. That's exactly how he was. He was like, "Fuck you guys. I got shit. See you later."
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you ain't got shit. Fuck off. I like his style.
Yeah, I like it too.
$4.99 from CL. Honestly, nobody actually cares about 99% of politics. These are all I like, dislike Trump. Let's justify it based on the latest news, which is probably made up. I mean, let's be real here. It's probably made up. And unidentified, can't disclose who he is, has no authority to speak on it. Source. That's the perfect guy. But back to what I was saying, Anson, is it's not just Hegseth and what he's kind of started to do, but it's the whole package, right? It's not just the firing of people; it's the rolling back of the Biden policies for the DoD. And Hegseth has been he's been busy, dude. Like he's been getting some shit done. I had a list. Let me see if I can find the list really quick. Apologize. I did change my entire studio around right before the show, so I was prepared and then I wasn't.
Gotta love that. So I love also Anson, by the way. I love how you call me liberal news or whatever. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I mean, it's not your fault.
You're the first person to ever tell me that, so it's great.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not your fault, what you got to work with, right?
I know exactly your argument, bro. I know the exact argument. I know the position. I know everything about it, man. I'm not like aloof, right?
Yeah. No, I know, man. So one of the things I was saying though, Grid, about the firings is one of those people that he let go was the former head spokesman.
Mm-hmm.
And that guy has turned around and started trashing Hegseth, right? And Oleoit or whatever his name is. I can't remember how to pronounce his name, but
what's his title? Who's this?
He was a former spokesman for the Department of Defense or Pentagon. He was one of the 4 people that got let go in the last few weeks or last month or whatever. And
disgruntled employee.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
This whole thing is over the timing of airstrikes, and supposedly he was telling his wife about hang on, I got it here. The shared information allegedly encompassed launch times and operational details of strikes against the Houthis. It was probably like, "Hey, honey, I'm not going to be home until after 8. I got to blow some people up."
Yeah. I mean, what?
I'm just saying.
It's
whole dinner. I got to fry some folk.
But you can use what I said though in your argument script, because what happens is whenever employees get fired, they become disgruntled and start trashing their employer. If
just like relationships. Just like relationships, the same thing.
But it's only the case if they are already of low moral character and probably deserve to get fired.
This
in the
is
first place.
Damn straight.
That's actually part of my argument. You can go back through Heggs's entire career, and he has never been accused of leaking anything.
Right, you're right.
Ever.
Absolutely.
Like this guy has been like absolute toe the line guy.
He's been an ace. Yes,
right.
An ace. Yep.
Yeah. And then he was in the Army as a National Guard officer, and he obviously had access to sensitive information when he was at Fox News. Not one ever allegation of him doing anything
You're right.
So, Greg, your debate champion from Saturday night's trying to give you advice in the chat. You should get her to come up here and give you advice on how to win the debate.
Beth
Greg.
is in the house.
Yeah.
You're welcome to come up.
Come on up. Tell us how it's done.
Yeah, she's giving some good advice in there.
I can't watch the chat and read my notes and talk to you guys.
No way. No way. I get you. I respect it, Grid.
I'm glad I have other people. I have backup right now.
Listen, like someone that is a live streamer, I get it, man. Totally.
So the evidence, all evidence, in my opinion, points to the fact that Hegseth's bull in the china shop or take no prisoner kind of approach to his job, let's just be honest, it's created some friction.
Well, it's not going to go over well where if you do even the slightest mess up, they're going to be like, well, you were all about this and that, blah, 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 so perfection, and you were coming after us. Now it's time to get the equal treatment, and that's exactly, unfortunately, what's happening.
Well, I also think that you have to look at the way these generals operate, right? Like they're all political animals now.
You're right.
Right?
You're
they're
right.
all political animals.
Just like our judges.
The only way they get that next star is congressional approval. So I hate to say it about actual good military men, but they got their lips so far up Congress's cock.
Yep.
That it's tickling their asshole.
You're right.
Yeah. No, right. My brother was an officer in the Army, and that's the way he explained it to me. Also, he said that the only way you can get promoted past a certain point is if you're sucking somebody off, right?
Yep.
That's it. You got to be playing the political game, and if you're not, then you're not going to get the promotion, and you're going to have to retire.
What industry does not have that model, though?
Mine. I don't do that shit.
Well, corporately, once you get to a specific level, it's super hard to get promoted, and you're more likely to get fired than promoted.
Yes, totally.
But it's the opposite for the generals. If they're more likely to get promoted and just hung out than fired. So, I think so. Basically, it seems like the biggest issue anyone has with Hegseth is the firing and the I gotta say it, and his stance on DEI and all of the Biden nonsense they put into the military. So,
yes, it's very right wing.
Well, they didn't clamor for the firing of the DOD secretary, the defense.
I did not know that, Angel Berber. If that's true, this is a slam. I can't even believe they're gonna. The argument that this debate ought to be called off because it's gonna be. I'm gonna torch those. I was gonna torch them anyway, but I'll just start right off from the word go and torch them. So let's not forget that a DND branch manager was caught on tape today admitting that he and others are actively sabotaging Trump and Hegseth. James O'Keefe reported.
Oh, wow. I'm going to have to do a little background research on that.
Dude,
that's a duh. I mean, the same thing happened during Trump's first term. I don't understand what the big deal is. I mean, that should have been like
right.
a baked-in understood.
It's something that we should have.
It's understood, but it's rare they get caught.
Yeah.
So,
I love your sound effects, man. Those are awesome.
Hey, you just got to do it sometimes. You know what I mean? Oh shit!
Stupid.
I like how Grid's like looking at what button should I push right now?
You know, I just realized that if we really wanted to, we could end this stream now and all get together within like an hour or so, since we're all so close to each other geographically, and go have a beer.
Not now, dude. I got a massive rainstorm.
That is true. Yeah. Well, Grid, do you think that we're not in rainstorms too? He lives 45 minutes from me. We're in 5 days of rain. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the debate. So for those of you who came late to the party, the debate tomorrow is me and Admiral Gibbs versus the guy I've made rage quit like 4 times, the Alex Kirsch Project. I once made him rage quit in 2 sentences. 2 sentences. That's all it took. Oh, God. And Josie made this fool rage quit. That's embarrassing.
I would rage quit too with Josie on the panel. I can't stand her.
Oh, it wasn't. It was on Josie's show. He went over there to whine about about rage quitting on Mike.
She.
I know, right? That's good. I mean, yeah.
Why are you?
So cleaner 409 was also giving you some good advice from the chat grid, but it was a little bit farther back. It was basically to anticipate an emotional based argument and to maintain your stoic frame while you're debating and not get taken off topic by their. But you're not an amateur, so I figured
I only get emotional if they in response. But it's going to be Katiushka, so you're going to be Anson will be simping over those Russian sounding breastises the whole time.
What's wrong with that?
I'm just I didn't did I say it was wrong? I just admit give you the fact.
I got you, Anson.
I just got a thing for commie chicks. That's my weakness, you know.
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah.
They're you know, with their mindset.
You guys see Did you guys see the the thumbnail I made for tomorrow?
No, I got to see this though.
I'm about to throw it up here. Let me there we go. Let me rip this one out. The thumbnail is it's kind of legit.
I like that. I've always taken big pride in my thumbnails, so I get it. Hell yeah.
The Russian guy, the simp, and their copium. Admiral Gibbs when he was a much younger man. Me being me.
Don't make him go in depression mode. He's going to be all depressed. Like, man, I just can't help it with this extra large soda. You know what I mean? I just can't help it.
Anyway, so it's going to be great. I'm going to have good fun with this one because I just can't see a good argument for getting rid of Hegseth. Other than the only good argument, and they won't make this argument, the only good argument that they could use is that the fact that everyone is fighting Hegseth so bad is that basically he's going to end up firing almost everybody.
Well, no.
And so getting rid of him might save some talent that they have. I will argue that fire all of them and burn that bitch to the ground and start over.
So think of the argument that the other neocons and warmongers would make to Trump who are on his team, because Trump has people in his orbit who have his ear, right? And what argument would they make for getting rid of Hegseth? And it's that he will hamper the Trump administration for the next year, and he won't be able to get his agenda done because every few weeks Hegseth's going to do something stupid, and it's going to drag down your agenda. Go ahead and get rid of him, and let us put one of our people in there, and then everything will run smoothly.
You're 1,000% correct, Anson. Yep, I have to agree with that all day, every day.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that that's the right thing to do, but that's the argument that they would make.
I could see that from. I mean, listen, you know how dirty politics can be, Anson.
Yeah, not nearly as much as I should, but yeah, I know a little bit about it.
I know you do. Yeah, it's a brutal world.
Angel Berber said that he hopes this results in charges in DOJ investigations. Well, the thing is I think while Hegseth is tearing down the DOD, somebody else is tearing down the DOJ. Burn it all down. Make it right again. Make it work. So yeah, it's funny. So, but yeah, I don't know what arguments they're really going to be able to make. But I do think there will be an appeal to emotion. He's the bad guy. How can we trust this guy? Where there's smoke, there's fire. All of the emotional arguments are going to come out, and it'll be me.
Well, if any one of the service members had done what Hegseth has done, then they probably would have been, brought up on some kind of charges for not handling classified information appropriately. And I think it's a morale problem for the people in the Department of Defense underneath Hegseth who have to tolerate someone at the top who isn't living by the same framework that they're required to live by. It's dragging down the morale of the rank and file to have Hegseth there.
So I think that there's something here with that's actually a good framework. Let me try and riff on that a little bit. So the fact that Hegseth is playing more or less in good faith, and every time they confront him about something, he's able to prove that he's in the right. If the generals were not generals, if they were enlisted and there was an officer above them and they accused that officer constantly of fucking up, as junior officers, they would be not only brought up on charges, they would be expelled from the military. So
are you arguing in favor of having a military dictatorship? Because there's a reason why civilians run the military and not
no, I didn't say that. I said that.
It sounds like you're for fascism. Is that why you like?
No. I think you aren't listening. So if the generals were behaving like junior officers complaining about a inferior superior officer, those and with no reason to, right? They just didn't like the fact that he made them clean the barracks twice and whatever, but the barracks didn't need cleaning. Then it would be to the junior officers' detriment, because they would be brought up on charges and summarily they would be drummed out. They would be gone. They would no longer be there. So.
Well, it makes sense to the party that supports the oligarchs like Musk and all the other rich people trying to stick it to the little man, having this whole double standard for the little people compared to those in charge. I mean, that fits with your worldview as a Trump person, right?
Come on, Anson.
Anson's just being
Come on, Anson.
I'm just doing my job here. You wanted me to help with the debate. I'm giving you the.
No, you're helping. You're helping me laugh. That's what's the moral claim going down among rank and file is easily dismissed by the massive rise in enlistment under the Trump administration. Enlisted men respect Trump and Hegseth. And these I don't know what do we call these? Are like godlike emperors that become these generals, and you can't get rid of them. They just don't go away.
You're right about that. They just won't go away, dude. They just never go away. They're a pain in the ass politically. Yeah.
It looks like Beth's giving out sandwiches in the chat. Hey, Arthur Dia's not in there. I need a sandwich. Beth, can you make me one real quick?
Italian sub for me.
I'm going to whataboutism a lot. Have I whataboutism?
Wait. CL, where's the whataboutism?
It's been.
Where's the whataboutism? Come up here and talk about the whataboutism.
You are coping and seething. You just can't accept what you're seeing. Yes, you're coping and seething. The truth it is scalding, and now you are molding and coping so hard.
You got to get that Trump shuffle down.
Emotional damage.
I had to let the whole. I mean, that wasn't the whole thing, but I let a lot of it play because it was great.
No, that was great. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Hey, Beth,
Grill me a cheese,
please.
Cheeseburger sounds good.
But the national security risk is another really good argument that they'll use against you, Grid. I mean, don't downplay that one. I mean, that's a good one. I mean, because we all know that when Hillary Clinton, had that server that was on her own private property that she mishandled, and people had all kinds of access to, and then just magically got wiped. Right, every single one of the libtards was all upset about that just as much as they're upset about this minor little signal message problem. Right.
Well,
So,
and it really didn't infringe on anything. It didn't actually go like, oh, that's going to make a world of difference. It was after the fact, that the strike already happened.
So here's the thing: I'm not gonna if which I don't think that it would be bad for them to go down that route, right? Because all I'm gonna say is that, well, yeah, I mean, we could talk about that, but the reality is that there's no proof of anything, and what we do know is that Democrats manufacture evidence.
Yes, you're right about that.
Look at the Steele dossier.
It's always on what I say against you. When it really happens, the evidence comes out. The evidence does come out. It comes out on all networks. It really does. You can't escape the internet as much as people think that you can. You can't. Can't escape it.
That, again, it's because I tell you, the biggest thing that's eating at these generals, it's literally like little biting ants on their nutsack, is the fact that he's using Signal and they can't read his mail. They want to so bad.
Yeah, they want to leak more of it. That's why.
Yes, you're right about that. Of course, it goes for their narrative. That's the whole point, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They absolutely have to. They have to, because they don't know. They can't manipulate him. They can't. They got nothing to blackmail him with.
No, you're right. And just remember on your debate, just remember when even that big leak, and they can say, for instance, what Anson just said, a national security risk and all of this. Just remember the one part of that whole thing, which was a Pete Hegseth fuck up. By no means. It absolutely was. But just remember this, that as soon as the leaks, quote unquote, came out, when those, I mean, because I had the screenshots and everything of the entire conversation, just remember that the airstrike had already happened. It's not like they got intel before it happened and then it still happened kind of thing. No, it happened after the fact. So just remember that aspect.
Well, look, I don't know why y'all are giving.
Hold on. I thought that was Vance, not
Hegseth. Well, Vance was in the group chat,
right? Yeah.
But he was not the admin, the one and only admin. The only person that can bring someone into the group chat is Hegseth.
Right. That's right. You're right, because
he's an admin.
He was told, "Hey, this guy should be in," and he put him in.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
He's it's like the captain of a ship.
And that guy handed off the.
Yes. It's like a captain of a ship. You're the last sign off.
But the thing is he did say, "Hey, it's my fault. I didn't know these people, and I should never put anybody in there I didn't know."
No, and he did do that to an extent, but he still tried to deflect off of it really hard, which I was like, you know what? I would really respect him a lot more if he just came out and said, "Yeah, I fucked up. I fucked up totally." And he didn't really do that. He did point that over to a reporter that was looking to make a name for himself, type of thing. And I'm like, stop doing that. Just take full accountability, and we're good.
So I want to say that this point Jack Sheridan is making is actually a really good point related to the firings too, because do you think that Pete Hegseth did the investigations into who needed to be fired, or do you think that his employees that he trusts did that? Because the DOD is like a figurehead, right? The Secretary of Defense is a figurehead, right? He has people under him doing these investigations, people that he trusts. And so to say that Pete Hegseth is the one that fired him, no, he's the one that probably initiated the investigation or wanted to have an investigation that was initiated by one of the senior people there already, right? So they're placing a whole lot of blame up at the top, and this is a
good point.
you know, this is a buck stops here kind of thing, right? Pete Hegseth's the one that takes the blame for it, but other people are doing it too, right? It's not just him. They're just trying to put all the blame on him because he's the political football that needs to get kicked right now.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, to your point, Mike. While Hegseth didn't stand up and say, "Hey, I'm captain of this ship and I'm going down with it," he did make sure that all of the information was accurate.
He
the
did.
Staffer that started the meeting,
The
everyone.
only problem I had with what he did is at the very end, on Laura Ingraham or whatever he did, he at the very end pointed the finger towards the reporter. Which, yes, of course, the dude's trying to make a name for himself. He's a reporter. But you got thrown into the biggest group chat in the entire fucking world of what's happening here in a military sense. Like, this is a big deal. And so what did he do? Oh, he excused a reporter for reporting on something.
Well, look, all I know is that Hegseth paid $50,000 to shut a woman up in 2017 because he mishandled his wiener, and he didn't want to take accountability for it. And how dare you trust this man of such low moral character that he's
what?
Yeah, you're just making up for a predator. I mean, it's evil, Grid. How dare you?
All I heard out of that was gay.
It's not the cap.
I'm kidding. I don't know. I'm torn on I'm kind of torn on that issue about the reporter deal. Because I think that if he hadn't have said that, nobody would have ever known.
You're right.
And when it came out, it would have just been this rumor. And I kind of admire him for wanting to give people the truth.
Yeah.
And just say, hey, it was this dumbass reporter, shouldn't have been in there, somehow got on the list. His name sounded like somebody else. Whatever the fuck it was. I don't know what it was. I don't remember all the details of that. I mean, I probably should look at that presser, but I mean,
I have the screenshots of the entire group chat. I'll send it to you.
I mean, it's just one of those things. It's like, I don't know the right way to handle that.
No, and see,
it was definitely a fuck up.
I look at this as how would I handle this? I'm actually trying to run for Alabama GOP here. You know what I mean? And so, the whole aspect of this whole thing, it's like, how can we sit here and blame a reporter? It's like, I look at this and go, what would I do? I would come out there as someone in politics, what I would think what most people would respect. And I would come out there and go, listen, I fucked up. This is how we're going to go forward and not have this happen again.
No, man, you got it all wrong. You blame the other person and
I know,
never take responsibility.
I know, and this is exactly why most likely I will not win in politics.
Yeah, you can't be honest, dude.
But see, I know the reality of this bullshit. I know it. If you're not playing their game, which trust me, the conservatives, as much of a staunch conservative as I am, they're not going to like me. They're not going to like me at all. You know, I have nothing. There's, of course, for the majority, 90%. Yeah, I back. But there's 10% of the bullshit that I call out, and I can't help it. I'm not going to stay quiet.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that Newsweek poll that said that 54% of voters want to get rid of Hegseth? I mean, that's really bad for the Republicans. I mean, Trump's not going to be able to get anything done with Hegseth dragging him down, Grid.
Where is this happening? The polls at
Newsweek.
Newsweek. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a reputable source.
Yeah. No, I get you.
Yeah. I'm just trying to find arguments for you, Grid, that you're going to hear tomorrow.
I know.
It's tomorrow. It's tomorrow, right?
You're coming up with good shit, Anson.
It's tomorrow. Yeah, it's tomorrow. But See, the problem is that if I was debating you, this would be very good information. But I'm debating a guy that I debate on whether or not he can tie his own shoes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I lose that
Oh,
debate.
dude, come on, man. Shit. You know what I mean? Don't even worry about that shit.
Victory. Excellent.
That's right. Facts.
Yeah, look.
I get it.
I wish that I had a clip of him rage quitting when he
What's
was
his name?
Alex Kirsch.
I've never heard of him.
Yeah, nobody's ever heard of him. I can't believe that's what nobody wants to take this debate. Right?
Oh, shit.
Nobody wants to take this one because you know why? Because it's a fucking lose. I heard it and I was like, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, hey.
But on the other side, you got to
that.
be like,
I respect that you're coming on and willing to take them on. Fuck it. Take them out.
Yeah, I can't wait till we get to debate grid. We're gonna have to debate sometime.
We have debated a little bit before.
Just for knowledge, I've done a fair job at moderating.
Yeah,
I'm not a good debater. I'm not someone that will.
I need a judge. I need a judge Saturday night.
Do you? Yeah. Oh, Saturday. I'm going to be in California.
In California, you say?
Yeah, I'm going to be in California from the 25th through the 1st.
Okay.
Going to visit your ex?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Please, God.
Yes. Revisit.
Testicles, wallet, and watch.
No, I'm visiting my daughter. Relax. You know the answer, Anson.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I know you know the answer. This motherfucker.
Stupid.
Hey, Ben would be a good judge, but I think you're a little biased, homie. You know what I mean? Just saying.
Ben is too biased.
Yeah, you're a
He
little
was
too
literally
biased.
sitting there. So I have to be, look. Anson went by a point system that nobody understood except him, which was fine. But Cleaner's points during the debate with Beth were pretty solid.
Yeah. Well, no, and see that was a how do I put it? I'm not that bright, Grid. So I wasn't trying to determine whether or not I was being lied to. I just assumed that I assumed that everything that they were saying was a lie. And
Yeah.
I graded them on how well they debated instead of whether or not I thought they were telling the truth. Because that's how
Well,
you
that's
get.
what I told Agrillipus that somebody can be lying and just have better arguments.
Yeah, and I tried to base it on what I thought was like the better, like whether or not they were more forceful or whether or not they like stood up for themselves or whether or not they used fallacious reasoning or things like that. Right, the things that I could know for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, you knowing that it's fallacious reasoning is irrelevant.
Yeah, I know, and that's and I thought about that, and actually, I talked to Cleaner about that, and Beth. Actually, I talked to both of them about that on Monday night on my stream because they came over to my stream, and I talked to them. And I think that I did it backwards. I think that if someone does a logical fallacy and their opponent doesn't call them out on it, then that's actually a point for them and a point against their opponent. And I think that I did it backwards when I was grading it.
So it's and I told Agrillipus this. It doesn't matter if they're absolutely fucking wrong and lying through their teeth. If they make the better argument, the more believable, the more intent, whatever it is. If they can make the better argument, then it doesn't matter that they're wrong, unless the other side can prove that hey, this guy's fucking wrong. Right?
Yeah,
and that's it's a tough thing to do in debate. I thought that you having a system I thought it was interesting. I hadn't actually thought it through.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't, I felt like I think that Beth argued well, but I think Cleaner did a better job. And that was just one of the reasons why I don't judge is because I like to be able.
But that's the testament to people that speak with confidence and speak with their chest. You know what I mean? And look at a whole bunch of world leaders historically. Those are people that are influential speakers, people that can draw that.
Well, everybody.
Oh no! I gotta
It's
leave.
that guy.
I gotta leave now. I gotta leave.
That guy.
Oh no!
I got to answer with that one.
Why are you letting all these socialists on your stream, man?
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, the socialists, bro.
We got a Marxist here, you know.
We hate him. Big fan.
There he is.
Yeah, sorry about that.
himself.
What's up, Gibbs?
How you doing? Y'all doing all right today? We living the dream here.
Having a good time.
We have lived it. We were just saying we're trying to save you some, but I don't know. We might be
well, what you got for me today? What were y'all just discussing? What did I miss?
I was just saying that I wanted
DEI panel.
Yeah, I was just thinking that I wanted somebody with an inferior beard to get on the stream to make mine look better. So
there you go.
Still don't know if that's true.
Anson, did you see the
cum comes out?
Or not Anson? Gibbs, did you see the thumbnail that I came up with for the stream for my stream?
Yeah, I saw. Let me see. I was pulling it back. I remember. You sent me something here.
Pull it up, Grid.
Yeah, yes, I did. The one you sent me earlier, it looked really good.
Yeah.
It looked really good.
Well, I just had to accurately portray our opposition.
It's gonna be a good one. I'm pretty excited. I feel like that we kind of did us a favor with this one.
Oh shit.
I feel like I don't think there's any way we can lose this debate. Like
I feel like that we could get a double rage.
Wait, are you guys debating this thing together?
Yeah.
Oh,
baby.
Man. Oh, this is a blowout. It's a blowout.
Yeah, it's gonna
Wait,
be.
who's the other opponent? Who's the other opponent?
It's
Natasha, whatever the fuck her communist name is.
It's Premier Katya. And
Never heard of her.
She's like nice outside of there, but she's definitely a commie. And then
Comrade Katya.
I don't care how nice you are. Your worldview is fucked up.
And then,
right?
sure. And then, what's the other one?
Anson likes her boobs, though.
Alex Kirsch is whatever the Alex Kirsch project, who's crazy as fuck. So I mean, it ought to be layup. That's what I'm thinking there.
Well, I kid you not. I wish I had. I'm gonna have to get a clip of it. I made Alex Kirsch rage quit with 2 sentences one time.
Oh yeah, he's called me every name under the sun at this point. He hates me. I'm just ready to pull the rock and be like, if you smell, whatever. I don't know. He's done.
We got you, bro. We got you. So it's going to be. So we were just talking about. Anson's been, poking holes in my argument or trying to. All he's really done so far is, make me laugh a little bit.
Hey, it made me laugh too. So
oh yeah, okay,
it's been great.
Yeah, I haven't done all my research yet, but I've been seeing stuff that said that maybe even some of the leaks were purposefully leaked, and if that's true, and they're falling for purposeful leaks, that's hilarious. But I haven't really dived into it too much yet. I don't think you should be fired. I mean, honestly, I think the fact that they want him gone so badly is an indicator that we need him to stay.
Right. That's my position is why do we want to get rid of somebody that's actually reforming the DOD and the Pentagon after decades of a bunch of jackassery?
Yeah, I don't know. And not only that, it's crazy to me that because this is all tied up even with the Doge stuff, right? That people, if you'd gone back, I don't know, maybe a year ago, and you'd ask anybody, right or left, is the government overfunded? Where do we need to make cuts? Every left-leaning person that I know is going to sit here and say, we should talk about looking at the Pentagon, and we should talk about looking at, the military as a whole. And then so we put Hegseth in there, and he's over there actually taking recommendations from Elon to go and check out with this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
they hate that. They hate that so
they're
bad.
just Lordy, it's terrible that he's doing this. And I'm like, but wait a minute, you just wanted him to cut the military, didn't you?
They go to the military first, right? Mm-hmm.
And then when they actually do it, it's they're just taking American jobs, sir.
Welcome, Tyler, the average debate enjoyer. How the hell are you, sir?
I'm doing good. I was just listening to Gibbs strawman me.
Yeah.
He's not strawmanning.
You like
strawmanning everybody.
So what a left winger would say is not that they don't like the cuts generally, but the things
Who's
that are going to
doing
get
it?
cut, the things that are going to get cut by a right winger so much are going to be like the fraud, maybe, and the abuse, but they're not going to
all the things the Democrats need to survive.
Yeah, but they're not going to change the overall strategy of the military in a way that the Democrat representative would.
I got Mikey balls with that one. That one.
No, that's actually interesting, Tyler. What would a Democrat want the DOD to do? What should the Department of Defense do according to a Democrat? I'm curious because I've never been able to figure it out. Because I always assumed that the Republicans and the Democrats basically wanted the same thing, which was to basically steal money from the Treasury for their constituents.
Where they split is generally the end outcome. So what a Republican would look like is more like Trump, kind of building up the American empire and making everyone else subject to it, where the Obama administration and kind of continuation with Biden, what they did was they tried to build up like a controlled opposition on both sides. They propped Iran up to almost be Israel's adversary in the nation, so that Israel's occupied, mutually assured destruction would kind of cause peace in its own way. And that was the JCPOA.
So, Tyler, I got to ask you because you're about as closest to a lefty as I'm going to get. So let me, I have my own theory. Why is all of these generals and staffers at the Pentagon and DOD, why are they so obsessed with Hegseth and other people using Signal? I have my own theories. What do you think? What do you think about that? Why are they
don't? I don't think they have shit else, and it's the only dunks that they can come up with right now. And their base wants them to get fired up, and they need their base to get fired up to donate money for special elections and off-year elections and all the shit coming up in the next 3 years. They don't have to moderate back to the center until about 12 months before the general election. So 3 years, they got to pander to the base, and that's what they're doing.
Damn right. Yep.
I keep just it keeps occurring to me that the problem is they can't read Signal. The DOD and the staffers can't yet read anything that goes through Signal, so they don't like that. They've been able to read everybody's mail for decades. And it's got to burn their nuts that they can't read these texts.
I don't know if they can get a hold of them in the long run because they get deleted. I guess that Signal was cleared by the CIA in 2024 to be a viable app for national security. The only problem is it looks like they got a bunch of boomers going in that don't know how to use a new app. And so I'm not 100% sure if it's really going to land with the people. But if you do a flash polling, people, even Republicans, did not like the first leak, but I don't think it registers. I don't think it's anyone's top 100 issue. I don't think anyone's going to change their fucking vote based on it. So it's just they're taking picks to make the administration look like they're making a lot of mistakes, and they are, but it's because they're also moving so fucking fast that maybe the mistakes are per capita the same amount, but they're just all compressed.
Well, I don't think there was a mistake on this.
Well, you make an interesting point also about the talking really fast, right? This is the other thing that I think that's happening, right? Is that Trump has exposed the uniparty kind of that has existed, right? And what I mean by that is I'm not one of these Alex Jones secret deep state guys. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is Trump got in office, day one, he started using the system that all the people have had, and there have been immediately changes on all fronts, on all the different things that, like immigration, he's put a stop to it, it's done. He's working on it still with the deportation. He's talking about economy. Whether or not you agree with the economic moves he's made moves towards it. He oversees foreign stuff. He's tried to get involved. He's done exactly what he said. He's every goal he's gone after, there have been visible steps that have affected the American public instantly. Now, for all of my life, I can't tell you a time when a president, after they made 50,000 promises, got in there, then we actually saw a change within less than like 6 months. I can't tell you, right?
True.
And and so now that this is happening, it's exposed that this could have been happening the entire time for the American public, whether you're a lefty or a righty, and it just shows that they've all been cahoots. And now the people that know their game is up, they're screaming "Lordy, Lordy," and they got nothing.
So I got a couple of things here from the chat. First, Calvin says that Tyler, you're lying. Signal is not an approved app to relay classified information.
That might be true. I wouldn't classify it as a lie. Maybe I'm a pothead.
The Secretary of Defense is the guy that gets to determine that. I would say that if he classifies it as an app,
that's true. That's fair. I wouldn't classify it as a lie, though. I'm saying more. I'm just a pothead that might have made a quick mistake. Forgive me for being human, please. Thank you.
Nice.
Well, we don't know that the CIA didn't do that. The second thing is, Blair 1% was wondering, Gibbs is talking like he just snorted his dinner. Gibbs came out the other night and said that he likes cocaine. He has no problem with you.
Who the fuck doesn't?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I know. Listen, y'all straight edge people. Y'all straight edge people. That's great, but I don't trust anybody with not those little side of a bad side.
Hey, make booger sugar great again. You know,
I'm just saying. If we were in the '80s, just saying, booger
the panel's
sugar
been taken over by drug addicts.
Dude. Listen, at least we're not addicts because we're able to hold down jobs.
I got you, Tyler.
Yeah, see this guy knows.
That's true.
Yeah,
that would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's true, but I'm saying that.
No. I'm talking about last Darwin heard was Signal was put on phones under Biden. Now Darwin is from fucking Australia, which isn't a real country. And doesn't actually exist, but that's okay.
And that brings up another good
ice
point.
wall or what?
So Grid.
Yeah.
What about all these problems that Hegseth is having? Because there's a lot going on in terms of defense needs, right? And all this drama that Hegseth is causing is just going to, reduce our ability to, be prepared in case there's a, national security threat. That's a good reason to get rid of Hegseth. He's basically a drama queen, causing all these problems for everybody. He just needs to go, man.
Nah, he's a diversionary.
I don't know that he's a drama queen though. He kind of keeps pushing back. He could be a troll. He could be trolling these fuckers.
That's what I think.
Literally, now I don't know. I think Mike was saying that that Hegseth has released in the past his complete text history so that you can see what a nothing burger it is. But what if this unknown can't say who he is, isn't authorized to discuss the matter or comment on it, and yet gives it to NPR, gives the information to NPR by a person that's not authorized. But let's say that guy, all he heard, didn't see anything. All he heard was that Hegseth did this, and what Hegseth actually did was be like, "Hey, honey, I'm not gonna be home on time. I gotta fry smoothies the whole dinner." What if that's what's going on here?
I would laugh my ass off. I hope that's what it is.
Well, I mean, look at it from the perspective of our allies, though, Grid. I mean, if they can't trust our Secretary of Defense to be able to maintain secret information, that is related to operations that might be jointly done with our allies, then they'll lose confidence. It'll hurt our stature on the world stage. Hegseth is really harming our relationship with our allies, Grid.
I mean, I wish I could believe that, but unfortunately, you may remember this person we had as Secretary of State once, Hillary Clinton. Girl.
I knew that was coming.
It was a girl, and so what this girl did was she abandoned American troops with knowledge.
What aboutism?
At this place called Benghazi.
That's right, Gibbs. What aboutism?
That's just what aboutism.
What aboutism?
Yeah, there's nothing what about it. It fucking happened, brother.
No, it isn't what
I saw the movie. I saw they made a movie out of it. It's not a whataboutism if it's a movie.
Listen, Grid, that doesn't matter because if it is whataboutism, because we should have fired her, just because we should have fired her then doesn't mean we shouldn't fire Hexeth now,
Here's my problem is that
I can't even say it with a straight face. I'm sorry.
I know you can't. I know it's hard, right? It's hard. It's yeah. But what's the who would we consider our allies? I mean, I barely consider New Yorkers my fucking allies. What are you talking about?
God damn you, New Yorkers, bro. Trump's a New Yorker, though.
He is, but he moved to Florida.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
he's a carpetbagger. God damn. No, I'm just kidding.
He's a carpetbagger. That's okay. It's okay.
Something to think about under Hexeth here is 9 people, I think, so far have been fired under Hexeth and Waltz.
How many?
9 have been fired under them.
And didn't he fire 4 or 5 like senior staff people just a week or 2 ago for leaking information to the press?
Apparently they did, and one of them was a big close friend of Tucker Carlson's, and then Tucker Carlson came out with like some pretty big intel about Iran that same day he was fired. So that might be what people are speculating was what was. So
Way. Come on. Tucker Carlson would be getting information.
Yeah, it seems like they're purging that side of the wing, though. Hexeth is more of an interventionist. I kind of like his foreign policy. I don't know if you guys. I don't know if you guys would, though. And the people that they're getting rid of under Hexeth all align more with the Tucker Carlson wing. So maybe this is a front for some kind of a purge. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's definitely.
Let's start taking over places.
That's actually the most interesting thing I've heard this entire conversation right there. I'm gonna have to look into that.
I would like to look at that too, but I also have to go. I just came to hype up tomorrow. Me and Grid are gonna whoop that ass. I'm excited. Grid, let me know in the future that if you do these regularly, I would love to come.
Dude, I do shows. I do regular shows. So I normally do Monday day, but I haven't been doing Monday day that much lately. So Wednesday evening, 8 to 11. Thursday afternoon, noon to 3 o'clock. Obviously tomorrow we'll be doing.
Yeah, that would actually work. I don't ever do anything during the day for shows. I could definitely make one of those work.
And then I do Friday night, 8 to 11. Saturday night, 8 to 11, and Sunday I don't stream at all.
Yeah, we'll talk soon. But yeah, watch us tomorrow. We're gonna go whoop Wick's ass. Wick's, I can't even say that. Wick's ass, whatever. We're gonna do something bad to their team.
Wick's gonna have to get involved because one of those 2 jokers is gonna rage quit.
So I don't know if you watched today's panel. I do the same thing. I think we all do this as content creators. We all want to talk about the subjects that are chief to our agenda, right? And sometimes you want to stack a team one way or the other. I don't try as much to stack a team as some do, but others try to really. And today it was 5 anti-America people versus one Buckaroo and one other, and I was interesting lineup here. Tyler can go with it, and I was well, if he tried to do that tomorrow, I don't think this is going to work out too well. Because we're definitely going to give out the spankings. But on that note, thank you so much for having me.
All right, man. See you, Wick. Pardon me, not Wick. I was literally sitting here thinking about Wick inserting himself in the panel. I'm literally sitting here thinking about Wick inserting himself in the panel because you know that he's gonna literally give probably Katya the nod and be like, drop off so I can get in here and try and argue.
I like Wick, but
do you think he does that on purpose before you leave? I'm curious.
What, jumps in? I think
has people drop off so he can jump in and I guess I have to help the remaining guy.
I don't know. Oh, drop off? I don't know. Oh, leave?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. Because a lot of the people that are on these things, because I know a few of them. Most of them, what will happen is they'll be on, and then they'll either have a tech issue, or because they're chatters, or they're new people a lot of times, or if they're not new people, then sometimes they're very they're used to an echo chamber, and so
that girl last time,
right? And so when you put them in there, and they are finally confronted with.
You got to defend your worldview.
And if you're not nice about it or try to build a bridge and you're no, you're actually wrong, then they will they just melt down. And I think that happens a lot because one thing Wick is good about that I respect is he tries to bring people from very different like sides in a lot of times. And sometimes when that happens, these people are just like, fuck that shit.
Yeah,
dude, as hard as I've been on him the last 3 times that he and I have been in either a debate or a chat together, I have like torn him up and he's still letting me on. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, he's cool about that. Like, I like having him as a panelist when I can.
Respect on that.
He is fun. He's fun. He will debate his stuff, and like we can, you know, like, but and not be a pussy. But it's I don't know. Everybody runs their panels. He put me on, so I don't bitch too much about it. But he's gonna give us a chance to do some ass with us tomorrow. You know, but I'm excited. All right, man. I appreciate.
All right, get out of here. Go away. Leave me alone.
See you, Gibbs.
You're
still here? What are you doing?
I'm trying.
Trying.
Guys hanging around all night. Damn. Fucking clinger. $4.99 came in from Mikey Balls. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. The long one.
I feel like I'm in a movie.
I think we put Tyler to sleep.
No. I'm a little stoned is all. Just kind of. I wanted to get out of Dan Caldwell. That's the guy that sat down with Tucker yesterday saying that he didn't do anything wrong, didn't leak anything, and was fired because what he thinks is because he was voicing unpopular foreign policy things. And that'll probably get you a nice kickoff on that investigation.
Well, weird how that works.
Yeah, I could see it.
Maybe.
I could see it, man. Like, I mean, they got elected already. He doesn't have to get elected again. And polling is saying they want him to be more interventionist than he is. So I feel like he's kind of trying to kick that wing out a little bit and have his way. But I don't know. We'll see. He needs his economic
Trump really wants to clean the house. I think he just really wants to just go through and fuck everybody up and reset. Probably not back to zero, but
Tyler, I don't think that you could confirm a Secretary of Defense that wasn't at least marginally a warmonger of some kind. I don't think Congress would allow it.
Yeah.
And at least from my perspective, the best case scenario is to put someone totally incompetent in that position. So from my perspective, if Hegseth's a big boob, that's like a resume enhancer.
I guess that would make sense for your end. I like that he apparently is one of the major voices of interventionism in a room full of isolationists. So I don't want him to go for that regard. But yeah, he seems a little incompetent and buffoonish in a way. So you may be onto something there.
I mean, if the entire government was led by people like that and they just if the government just fell apart, that would be the best case scenario.
Man likes a good drink, you know. I respect him.
Yeah.
Is it really buffoonery to just fire people that need to be fired?
No, Trump runs on that. Like that would be a critique. Like I really went to bat for this guy. You guys saw it in the media, but he was being incompetent and he had to go. And Biden should have fired Lloyd Austin after the Afghanistan withdrawal and didn't, and should have fired X person after Y thing and didn't. He could go out there and sell it as like, look, this is me holding my own people accountable, and it would be a win. Easy.
So what Hegseth is doing is giving Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries real stories to bounce off of, to basically bolster their positions to their bases. That's what Hegseth is doing. So politically, Hegseth is a loser, right? And that's actually his only real problem.
But again, I think that that's what Trump wants. I think that's a point in Hegseth's favor. Trump's not looking for somebody that wants to live their life as a defense secretary or something like that. He's looking for somebody who wants to get in, do their job, and live to see the end of it without getting, Clinton.
I think it depends on approval ratings because we saw Elon Musk get like a negative 23 approval rating poll, and then like 2 days later, the White House puts out Elon Musk will be leaving in a few weeks, and then you just haven't seen him in the media since.
You're right,
but he's still working. He's still going into the office. He's just not talking about it. Doge is still cutting shit left and right. They just took him out of the eye. So I kind of feel like Hegseth is just going to disappear from the eye. You're probably going to hear more from Rubio because he kind of has a similar job, sort of. He deals with the same countries. So
Tyler, you're basically saying there's always going to be someone in the target range.
Yeah.
It's always going to be there's always going to be a target, no matter what. If it's not this guy, it's this guy. It's this, you know.
But Rubio is a politician.
I have a stupid question. Why is it that the right does not play this same game?
Of which is that?
Of just going after people that are actually doing their job, but saying they're not.
They do,
and just to get rid of them.
They do.
Some degree they do.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Who did we get rid of in Biden's administration?
Well, it depends on how you define the right. Right. If you define the right as also the swamp creatures who go after people, then they're very effective at it. I mean, the establishment right is very good at culling the herd, and they do it at a lower level to gatekeep every one of the insurgent voices out of the Republican Party at a much lower level, so it's not seen at the top.
It is. And what you'll see, you won't see a headline, you won't see any news. All you'll see is all the parties' funding shift to another primary candidate in a very small local election that you'll never hear about. You'll just say, hey, where did Cori Bush go? Oh, she just got primaried out by Democrat money one day. That's it.
Yeah. But, I mean, look, so Hegseth, and I'm just quickly looking at this article, Hegseth's top advisor comes out and says, well, you know, goes to Tucker and says, well, I never leaked anything. But do we really believe that? I mean, why would Hegseth get rid of somebody that is their top guy unless there was something actually there? He needs all the friends he can get because literally everybody else is his enemy.
So that's where I point to. It was probably the result of an investigation done by someone that was directly underneath him and who came up with things, right? So there's actually a little bit of research that probably needs to be done of who actually led that investigation and find out what their motivations are, because that would actually be an interesting answer to that question as to what the reason was.
Yeah. I just think it's interesting.
It is.
I don't know. I would say that subject to subject, you don't see similar strategies. If you remove the details, kind of take a step back and look at the before, especially the Dobbs decision, the arguments that the right was using about guns in a lot of ways mirrored the left-wing arguments for abortion. They were arguing the constitutional right to privacy. So they were arguing a lot of this starts here, thus you can't do X, and their attacks on them were structured very similarly in terms of the courts and everything. And you'll see that it won't be on the same subject because they have different values as a party, obviously. And
yeah, but the problem is that there's no like actual constitutional right to that at all, and the stretch to right to privacy is ridiculous.
Mm.
So like nobody on the right would argue in that way that I know of.
I was just on Scott's show, Fabian Liberty, arguing that probably Trump is, in my lifetime, taking the largest bite of this apple, at least legally, in terms of trade policy.
Yeah.
Like, you get like 5 trade policies done in a 4-year administration. If he bangs out 40 trade deals because of 1 week of tariff threats, that's like the most I've ever fucking seen in my lifetime. The same deal with the legal.
No, you're right.
He's challenging Humphrey's executor. He's challenging fucking appointments. He's challenging emoluments. He's challenging fucking.
This is why I don't think Trump's going to get rid of Hegseth. Hegseth's doing the job that Trump wants him to do, and that is
Trump backs him. He backs him 100%.
So you also think about this. And I've mentioned this before, but it's extremely important, right? There are midterms coming up, and the control that the GOP has is razor thin, right? And in the term following the election of a president, the midterms are always bad for the president. And so it'll make Trump's second term like even more lame duck, right? So he basically has 2 years to push through whatever he's going to push through already a razor thin margin. And unless he's resigned to having no ability to get any bills passed at all and just doing everything through executive action, then he would be concerned about a Hegseth. I personally think that he doesn't really care about the midterms, and that would be the only reason why he would keep Hegseth. Because Hegseth, think about where he came from,
Well,
right?
That's a big discussion, Anson, because I think Trump is furious with Congress right now. I think he's ready to burn it
No
down
doubt.
and let them all lose their fucking sense.
No doubt. Yeah, you're right.
I think I think he honestly that's a better argument for just leaving Hegseth where he is and just let everybody see. Just see.
There's a
Sit
rather
there
friendly map
and
to the GOP.
wallow in your seed.
The GOP's 2026 map is rather friendly. They're actually still favored to hold the Senate, and there is a path for them to win the House, though it's not the most likely. Nate Silver is covering it a little bit, but we're not close enough yet to really see anyone dive into it.
But what I'm saying is that what Anson said is that the risk of looking bad by not getting rid of Hegseth could risk Congress. But I think at this point, Trump gives zero fucks because Congress isn't doing what he wants them to do, and they're not playing ball with him.
He can't.
So when you do that to Trump, historically, he says, "Fuck you, fuck the horse you rode in on, and the long tall Texan behind him, fuck all y'all, and burn to the ground."
See, but the Senate's still controlled by the old establishment because their turnover rate is slower, and the Senate can fuck up Trump, right? There's co-equal branches of government. They and he's not a king, unfortunately, so he can't just do whatever he wants, right? And think about it. Think about also like Hegseth's base, right? The reason why he became popular and one of the reasons why Trump picked him is because he did a whole lot of work with veterans advocacy, right? And so think about how Hegseth's natural base is going to view his actions. And that'll actually have some impact on to what decision Susie Wiles makes about whether or not to get rid of him.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta split off.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
Why? No, you
yeah,
don't.
I do.
You going to bed?
Soon. Yeah, I got an early date in tomorrow. I got to pack up and get ready for the trip, California.
Oh, yeah.
Have a good trip, man. Be safe.
Appreciate that, Anson.
Yeah, be careful, man.
Appreciate that, Grid. All right, you guys. Hey, Tyler. Nice
hey,
to
man,
meet
stand
you.
tall.
I'm Mike, by the way, but nice to see you.
Yes, sir.
And we'll see you on the flip side, you guys. Much love.
See you, man. Thanks for coming up, Mikey. Seriously.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, so I don't know what the debate prompt is for you, but I think your best argument for Hegseth is more that he is that military guy that's coming in to make sure we have lethality, and he does have some weaknesses on the world stage, and Rubio is having to step in. And if you say that's kind of like why Rubio's there in the first place, to be that guy, so Hegseth can focus on this over here, I think that way you can kind of minimalize the big fuck-ups by Hegseth so far. And he's just, old, trying to use an app he's never used before. It looks like just real human error. But
I think the first leak was probably, just a staffer set it up. They, it was the wrong guy was on the wrong list and got sent an invite, and he obviously was going to take advantage of that. So I think that I don't really care about the first one, but this honestly, I kind of you have to wonder if Hegseth is trolling. I would really love to see the actual text of the text.
it could be. So what they're reporting is, I'm pretty sure it was an anonymous source said that he accidentally invited a family member to a Signal chat, and they were privy when something was being discussed. But we don't actually have that text, and it's an anonymous source.
That contradicts what they first said, which was that it was a conversation between him, his wife, his lawyer, and possibly his brother about confidential the timing of attacks on the Houthi rebels. Which, by the way, again, let me find it. I had it.
Was he asking for legal advice or something? You might know a little more about this than I do. I didn't really.
Yeah, it basically it was that the criticism is that he shared the timing of the attacks with his wife and this other guy. Hegseth says that it was nothing. He basically, let me find it. I had it. Give me one second. The reports suggest, you're in trouble when it says suggest and not say, that Hegseth shared details about impending U.S. airstrikes in Yemen through Signal and encrypted messaging app. One group reportedly included his wife, brother, and personal attorney, none of whom held official government positions or security clearances. Now, there's a little bit of word salad there because he can, basically his wife has to have a clearance because he has confidential materials in the house, right? So, anyway, well, whatever. We'll skip that. The shared information allegedly encompassed launch times and operational details of the strikes. Hegseth denies that any information was classified, asserting that the communications were for informal coordination and did not compromise national security. So again, I go back to, honey, don't hold dinner for me. I'm not going to be home till around 8 because I got to smoke a Houthi and a Camel.
Well, that's an interesting story, Grid, that you just sort of made up as a total non sequitur to whatever debate you're going to have. And if you're debating someone that's worth a damn, they'll point that out.
It's not non sequitur. That's actually exactly what he says.
No, that's what I would do if I was debating against you. And then I'd hammer you on fictional stories unrelated to reality and how we should get back to discussing the topic at hand.
And then I would simply point out that that's exactly what Hegseth said.
What is the
it's not fiction if the guy actually says it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, was he discussing? I want to know, like, the context of that. If he was discussing something legal with his lawyer and he had attorney-client privilege to do so, then, like, in a way, like, isn't that fine to a degree? Hey, here's what's going to happen. Maybe his lawyer needs to be cleared for national security, and wasn't. I don't know, but I need more information to find out if he actually did something wrong. It seems
they're
like
never going to give you more information. This is all bullshit.
It seems like they're pouncing on. It seems like a pounce. It really doesn't seem like it has any fucking legs to it. So, I mean, I wouldn't take it too seriously. And again, like, we had bigger fuck ups under the Biden administration. They spent $600 million on a fucking dock that they used 2 times, and then that shit floated away. Like, they just dismantled what was left of it. Like, and nobody got in trouble for that shit. All sorts of fucked up shit happened, and nobody got in trouble for it. I don't see how anyone could demand this to be fired.
The problem is that comparing it to the Biden administration is, first of all, there's just too much material there. We can't pick. But the second thing is that it's relevant but irrelevant at the same time because we don't know. I'm just going to keep going with, we don't know what was said. Nobody knows what was said. It was MP fucking R that reported this, that broke the story. That is not a legitimate source for anything.
Yeah, it's government funded. Why wouldn't it be? They're totally impartial. They're not upset at all about being threatened.
They're not upset about Doge and Hegseth. And this is like, this is just yet another instance of literally the entire government establishment, which, by the way, now when I say establishment, I literally mean all the fucking hippies. Like, it's weird. It's weird, but it's true, right? So, yeah, and Cleaner's right. It will be a debate on positives and why. Well, why is it okay for him to use this Signal app? Well, if I were a government official currently, knowing that the government loves to spy on its employees without my knowledge, I gotta be honest, I would probably use the Signal app too. Just to keep those fuckers out of my mail. I don't want them to read my mail. Fuck those guys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I can fault Trump for distrusting our intelligence agencies after they literally weaponized the FBI in a political hit job to try to take them out.
It's been 9 years of this shit.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
look, I mean, the Steele dossier. You want to talk about? That's exactly what they did. They just created that shit out of it.
No, it was rumors. It was Igor Donchenko saying that somebody called his phone at 2 a.m. speaking Russian and telling him state secrets, and that's how that made its way in there and all sorts of shit. I read through what they revealed in his transcript, which was not all of it, but a good chunk. So
I want to thank Agrilapolis for his 5 Unreasonable Man gift memberships.
Yeah, that dude is off the chain, man.
Yeah, he got the Powered Busty in there too, and Generally Specific in the same membership thing.
That's a duo right there.
Yeah, the drama duo.
Yeah. Why are all the drama streams going so hard? There's just like a lot of drama, or they just starve for drama and they've got to just
there's a large appetite in humans for pointless content. And I mean, Jerry Springer had a show for a long time for a reason. So did Judge Judy. People like mindless drivel. So
yeah. We're in the home stretch. I didn't realize that it was already 10 after 10. So we're gonna. I didn't even. All we've talked about is this. I intended to talk about some other things, but all we did was the quote unquote debate prep and exit.
I've been taking a bit of a dive into this Harvard stuff and this other Maryland case. If you ever want to chat about that, I'm not the most versed in it. I'm still talking to people that know their way, lawyers mostly that know their way around this stuff. And since nothing's really been decided yet, I don't have a ruling to read or anything. But if you see Harvard suing the government as the reason that civil rights law gets thrown out as unconstitutional, that would just be the most fucking ironic political thing of my life.
Well, hopefully
we live in interesting times for sure. Let me ask you something, Tyler. You're like a research geek, which is cool. I'm not particularly a research geek. I mean, I'm good at it, but I'm not that great at it. I should have you come up with some of the debate prompts for my debate show on Saturday nights. So we do a blood sport debate show, and basically you get a minute. Each person get 1v1 debates. Each person gets a minute to state their position, and then you get 5 minutes to argue, and then we have 3 judges that judge you and see who made the better arguments. Or in Anson's case, he keeps a very strange matrix of score and rules and
I'll post my rubric on your Discord so it's more understandable how I do that and how I would do it if you allow me the privilege of judging again.
Sure. Well, actually, I figured that you needed to get back in the harness and win another debate.
Yeah, or lose one of the two.
Or lose one. Either way. I've heard it both ways.
Yeah.
But I have one. I have a debate. I have a debate topic for this weekend. Are we actually more intelligent now than we were 50 years ago? And why? Why do you think so, or why do you think not?
I think that generally IQ has gone up, and therefore you could make the argument based on that metric alone that intelligence has increased generally. Yeah.
In a weird way, you could make the counter though. Like, I don't know how to spell anymore because there's so many spell checks.
I think that what you're going to find is that IQ's gone down.
Yeah, we're so reliant now on technology that like we're almost dependent on it, making us stupider as a species. That's all.
Yeah, I was actually listening to something Fabian Liberty said the other day, and that is that he did some deep dive into intelligence from Gen X through Zoomers, and he found that we were getting gradually more and more stupid. Because we're not problem solving. IQ isn't having a bunch of knowledge; it's being able to solve problems.
I can throw some ideas your way. Gibbs tells me every time I bring up a debate prompt, it's too boring. But if you're doing like getting your entertainment out of the blood sport itself, maybe a boring prompt is fine for you. So I'm just not much of a blood sporter. I was thinking about coming, but like I'm too nice to people online, so I guess I wouldn't do well.
Yeah, got to be mean. Got to get in the weeds.
I don't like to. I don't know. I just like to. The more people you're friendly with, like I was realizing that for this poker league,
Anson, I would take that as a personal shot. Coffee says beware it's hot.
I actually just looked it up, and since the 1990s, in more developed economies like ours, the IQ has gone down like between 0.5 point or 2 points a decade. But in developing economies, it's increased because there's more room for growth in terms of nutrition related
problems.
Yeah, well, no, nutrition related gains in IQ, right? So IQ is directly related to both genetic and environmental factors, and the developing world has more growth to do than we do, and we have more declining to do because we achieved so much. So, I mean, yeah, I could actually, yeah, that's actually an interesting, but it's interesting because it's going up and down depending on what your demographic is. So.
Well, I think that there's a few debates that can be had around that, which is, is the massive amount of access to information we have actually making us smarter?
Yeah, or just like you can even what he just said. You could even take that IQ and challenge: is IQ a good barometer of intelligence, or does it have its own form of sampling bias because of what it's testing specifically? And maybe there's some other metric of intelligence that's being left out that we're seeing a massive decline in and don't even notice it, or we're seeing a massive increase in and don't even notice it. So that could go either way. It'd be fun to actually dive into that for 2 hours.
Seth is on fire. We have a secret language now. It's called cursive. Script. Yeah, that's funny. I just think it's interesting. I was listening to Fabian the other night, and he had a great show. I really like Fabian. He's all right. What's up, Grumple Stillskin? I saw one of your. I debated with one of your Marines the other night. He's really low key tard. His name's Connor. He has a show called Counterpoint. Points, whatever.
I heard him tell a person of color that he wants to euthanize him, so I think he's a racist personally.
I saw that clip too. I think so I had not actually interacted with Connor, but he would say some of the dumbest shit, and when you would call him on it, he would just literally like wig the fuck out. Like, which is fine because I don't care. I just laugh at it and tell him it's fuck.
I'm not gonna lie, chat with him in DMs. He can offer some pretty intelligent perspectives on certain things, and that's what I talk to him
Well,
about.
he's got a degree from where was that again? It's defunct.
Trump University.
No, not Trump University. Almost that. DeVry. Was it DeVry? I think it was DeVry.
Virginia College?
DeVry Institute of Technology, I think.
Yeah, I went to a fucking local community place. I ain't judging, I'm not credentialing people as so left wing,
He is left wing.
I think his problem with conservatives directly mirrors my problem with Democrats, and like it pushed us more to the center. But at the end of the day, I'd probably say 45% of my political views are on the right and 55% are on the left, and I think he's the opposite.
Which viewpoints do you? I mean, obviously, you have your some of your stuff is
law and order, free trade, or law and order, border security, immigration. Generally, those merit-based immigration, things like that.
What are the points that you're left on?
I like the tariffs because I am a big fan of I don't like how it's morphed into climate policy, but environmental regulation policy I'm a fan of. I want clean water and shit. So like I'm a fan of tariffing people so they can't find a loophole in our regulations to bring that shit overseas and abuse people that don't have human rights. So I like our OSHA laws, I like our worker protections and things of that nature. And if it costs us a little more to buy things in order to have that high standard of living, then yeah, I'm kind of for that.
What I mean, you like poverty?
I don't like it, but it can be addressed. It's never going to go away.
I'm just curious, which leftist principles do you actually like?
Leftist?
Yeah.
Very few. I'm more of like a Clinton Democrat, like a practical one. There's very few things I hear left. Like I don't do fuck with the gender stuff or any of the neo-Marxist stuff, or very few.
You seem like
things.
you hate paying taxes. You like owning property. You seem like
I don't mind taxes. I like my taxes to go up for certain things. I don't mind. I don't
Really?
mind paying a little more.
Do you write in any extra every year?
No, I donate. I feel the best way to do that is to do it. I donate every year.
Look,
Then,
Tyler,
then why do we have taxes?
Redistribution.
Well, at least you said it out loud.
Yeah, he's not really he's not really a Clinton Democrat though. He's more of a Nixon Republican.
Nixon and Eisenhower, I've been told, I'm also close to him a little bit as well.
Yeah.
So I've heard those as well. I'm closer to them, but that Clinton, I'd say, embodies me, at least of my lifetime, embodies me more than anybody else. And that like kind of again leads me to Trump. There's things Trump does that are very Clinton-like that I like. So I can't.
Well, he's a Democrat. I mean, he is.
He was for a long time, and he's moderate on things that I think are smart. Again, the abortion thing, I know people are passionate about it, but it's only 18% of the country is true pro-life now. It's just not a political winner. And
we don't have poor people in this country. I think it's always interesting when people start talking about they need to help the poor, and I'm like, you mean the guy down by the river that lives in a car nicer than the one I drove in high school, or you mean the people who get free housing through Section 8 with 3 TVs and fucking $500 worth of WIC provided food in the refrigerator? Yeah, tell me again why they're poor. They're not poor.
Yeah,
I actually know poor
you're
people.
right.
I know poor people.
Generally, the American population is most of the world's 1%, and then I think 20% of our population falls into the top 2% of the world's income earners. So we're doing all right here. I've been to poor countries. My fiance's family is from the Philippines, and we go and visit them every couple of years. And I've seen real poverty. It's oh, maybe we don't have it that bad in the United
Yeah, right. That's what I tell people, man. If you think you know what poverty is, brother, let me help you out. When I was in China, there was this guy who rode, and I've told the story several times on my channel. There was this guy. So I'll draw the picture for you first. So my parents-in-law live in an apartment in a walled community, right? And it has security. It has literally the I guess they're technically army, but they have little guys out there, guards or whatever, to control entry. And so most of the time we didn't drive anywhere. We would walk out and catch a cab or something, right? And so we'd be standing there waiting for a cab to come by, and I would see this guy 2-3 times a day, and he'd go through riding a bicycle with this. It's like a tricycle thing with a rack on the back and whatever, and it was usually piled over his head with cans of Coke. That's a weirdness in China. They don't do soda fountain stuff. Everything comes out of a can. No bottles. They don't do bottles. Cans. And so I'd see this guy going, and finally I ask about it, and the story is that they can't get to the trucks can't actually get back to all these little restaurants in these little tiny alleyway street things that they have, and so the only way you can get back there is with bicycle or this little whatever the fuck that thing was, tricycle, whatever. And so this guy he would go down and buy all of this soda from the Coke warehouse, and then he would, deliver it to all these little restaurants and stands and whatever, food stands, whatever, back in the city. And that's how he made his money. And he probably made at that time the equivalent of about $80 US a month. And he was happy. He was one of the happiest dudes I've seen, man. This dude's every time you see him, he's smiling. He waves at you. He's super, just super happy and cool. and then he had a home. He had a like a 1 bedroom kind of little hovel place, and hot plate and all that kind of stuff. And he was like super happy, man. I was like, this dude's like the poorest man I've ever met in like the free world, which I guess China technically is a free world. And he's happier than people I know and doesn't complain like people I know in the US that, have 3 cars in the driveway and, fucking cable TV.
Well, our culture is built around people seeing things that they don't have and wanting it making them upset because that's the way that we're trained. Because we receive a lot of propaganda about what things we ought to have that we don't, and it's kind of pathetic. But there was another set of 5 gifted memberships by Agrolapolis.
I saw that,
and he picked up Jess Gerald, and Jess Gerald came to the chat and thanked him for it. So that was pretty cool.
I appreciate that. And Jess Gerald hasn't been here in a while, so I'm glad to see him back in the chat. It's good to have people come back through. So yeah, so it's getting close to that time. We got time for like one more subject. What do you guys want to talk about?
Well, I mean, we could always discuss the Furburger consumption, but I think we really ironed that out in the last debate. So,
I guess. Grumpelstiltskin, how's what do you think of Connor? What do you think of that dude? It may take a minute. Beth Mayhew says her argument's better now. It doesn't matter now. The debate's over. You have the best argument in the world after the debate.
She's been thinking about Furburger since that debate, is what she's saying.
Gross. Thank you. What kind of prompts do we want to do this week, guys?
You want me to drop some in the Discord grid? I could drop you another set of
another 100.
Yeah, I don't know about another 100, but I might be able to do a few.
I really want to talk about education and how smart we think we are and we're not, and how arrogant first world countries seem to be when it comes to the idea of what we know and how fucked up we are.
That's one of my favorite subjects, the pride. So yeah. I'll think of some pride related ones for you, Grid.
Mainly because I think that can be because it doesn't matter which side of the political spectrum you're on, you're going to have different opinions on.
Yeah, and pride infects everybody, not just politically divided people for sure. I mean, Tyler's got pride and all sorts of things that gives him. I mean, everybody does. I mean, it gives him thinking errors. I'm sure. I mean, like when you were on with Fabian earlier, right? I watched some of that conversation, Tyler, and it was a really good conversation because you set aside your pride for a little while and actually you were curious about the worldview that Fabian had that was so drastically different than yours. And if more people were able to do that, I think the world would be a much better place, man. Like that's something that's really missing from like the debate space that we have and like the online space in real life, is people being able to set their damn feelings aside for a fucking second and listen to the other person.
I think it's kind of a responsibility to somebody that isn't in a party to hear out all the perspectives. And like, as I was saying to him, like if I need to think of something like a paleocon or a natcon, I can do it. Or like a neocon or a Goldwater conservative, I can do it. Or a democratic socialist or a new Democrat Clintonite, I can do it. But like as a libertarian, I can't answer those questions from his perspective. That's actually the 3rd episode of Libertarian School, where he just basically answers fucking complex libertarian questions in the weeds for me. It's pretty cool, actually. I think I appreciate the hell out of him for doing it.
Yeah.
Rumpelstiltskin, Connor claims to be a social conservative, whatever the fuck that is. All I hear is socialist commie bastard when he says that. He was like, define socialism, and I'm like, it's when the government takes my money and gives it to some motherfucker.
Well, that's welfare.
It is, but it's also socialism. And but he wanted the workers own the means of production, blah blah blah. He wanted
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm getting real tired, but I will drop this before I go. I sent it to you. We run streamers poker league, so if either of you gentlemen are interested, there's Friday tables, Tuesday tables, and I think Saturdays he's also extending to as well. So you just let Pentuple know, and he'll get you in.
Pentuple and I are debating against some two fucking liberals. Now I can't think of who. I've never heard of it. You guys tell me if you've ever heard of these guys. Let me find this really quick.
But I will warn you, I am currently at the top of the poker league's ranks, so you're going to be going up against me.
I don't play poker, so you're safe.
Oh, okay. And my brother is also. He just kind of jumps in. He's number 3. He's pretty good too.
Gambling's the devil.
Oh, it's no money. It's just for. It's basically after a panel. Everybody can go there and chill, and like you just called somebody the N-word on a panel, and then you go in there and like have a beer with them essentially. So it's like a stress reliever for streamers.
Oh.
So it's kind of more. There's a bunch of chicks in there that don't even know how to play. We're teaching them just so they can, get in there and do their thing.
Yeah, that's generous of you to allow chicks into your space like that.
Yeah.
So it's me and Pentuple against Classy Neurotic. He seems to be an idiot. And Renyald's Notebook. Could be gay. I don't know.
Never heard of either of them.
Yeah, me neither. I did find the Classy Neurotic guy, and his stream is like dumb.
Pentuple, when he's on his game, like we saw when he went against Pisco, that dude can destroy. But you get him memeing though, he goes off the rails real fucking quick, starts yelling. He could spike a debate pretty quick if you piss him off. So just be wary of that.
Hold on now.
He did that a couple of times in Gibbs panels when JC or Nonfun would trigger him. He would start yelling over people and
Nonfun triggered him. Nonfun just makes me laugh.
Yeah, he's so young and proud. Like he's so bold when he's so dumb.
He is so bold. Yes, exactly. And I'm like, did you see the thing? Hold on, I think you were there, but let me play this. I got the clip. Give me a second. I got the clip. The clip is great. Let me find it. Here it is. I got it. We're gonna do it one more time, guys. Hold on. This is just fucking perfect. Because what he's trying to do is he doesn't like my argument. You were there, by the way, so you remember that. Maybe you'll remember this. I don't know. You may have had a lot to smoke.
I'm pretty good long term. The short term, like where the fuck did I put my keys? But arguments I'm good with.
Where the fuck did I put my keys? All right, so yeah, you may remember this from just a little while ago. This was great. Let me hit the play button over here. So.
So I mean, number one, this, citing all these payroll reports, rings hollow when you guys were deciding the BLS job numbers were fake for like Biden's term. We had a lot of good payroll reports under Biden, and you didn't give Biden any credit. You certainly didn't say it was because of free trade we had all those
my
jobs.
argument like that. I never said they were fake.
Your side did, absolutely. But anyway, even if you
my side is irrelevant to this argument. The points that I have made are relevant to the argument.
Now, hold on, was Biden's economy good?
I'm about to address the point you made.
That's a great question to ask me. You should have asked me. You should have started there. I feel like I'm teaching a class on debate here. Yeah, you should have started there. You should have started with
Gibbs's face is awesome.
On the Biden economy. I don't think Biden's advisors did a particularly horrible job on the economy. The economy wasn't what we needed to get rid of.
I couldn't laugh because I was locked in, ready to go. I was about to speak, so I couldn't laugh because I was fucking ready. But that shit's hilarious.
That was funny as fuck because Nonfun's so like, no, I got you. I'm gonna get you, and then I'm like, no, don't do that. That's not what I said.
I yelled at Wick. I felt
what your
bad.
side says.
I like Wick. Wick genuinely is like him and I talk probably more than anybody in DMs besides maybe I Got Rich. But man, he's not great at debate sometimes and gets a little stupid. I had to yell at him. But that was a fun one. That was probably one of the more fun streams I've done this month at least.
Yeah?
Yeah, but I'm going to be out of town.
Fun when I beat you up. Come on.
That was a great time. I think going into the belly of the beast and ending up with like 28%, which is what I got, is pretty solid. You're almost never going to win a debate on enemy turf. Well, enemy, but like turf of people that disagree with you. So 28% was pretty happy for me. I'll take that participation trophy.
You can win in those debates if you occupy their worldview to defeat them.
I tried to dabble into that a little bit.
He did actually. You were there, Anson. Come on. He tried to get in there. He tried to be a little bit,
I'm one of the guys.
he was like, no, I'm not purely interventionist.
So yeah, I did a little bit, but yeah, no, that was. I just got to get to sleep because I don't feel like I'm incoherently rambling. I got to work in the morning.
You're good, man. I'm gonna re-trigger this from Agrillipus, who sent in a massive $50.
Still,
that was awesome. Yeah, I don't know, that dude was non-Fon's just hilarious. The only social conservative who was ever a good guy was Endermax. He went way off the grid. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and I like that Agrilipolis sent another 10 gifted memberships in on top of what he already did. I mean, he's just tearing it up tonight.
He's killing it tonight. Killing it. Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Lance, I feel like we got like 20 minutes left here. Do you have anything you want to say? Or?
Well, I could. So I had a stream on Monday night, and I covered the middle section of that debate that Andrew Wilson did with, I can't remember who I did it with now. It was on the Sarah the Raging Tomatoes channel about toxic masculinity, and I went point by point, basically the same point system I used to score the debate the other night. I applied to that, only with longer explanations.
And, I don't remember who was talking about toxic masculinity.
Yeah, that was on the Sarah the Raging Tomato.
Was it Ryan?
Yeah, it was Ryan. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, what is wrong with that?
Well, he's not a terrible debater, Grid. I mean, he's just not assertive, and he's not sure of his positions because he hasn't.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of somebody else because he is very sure of his position until you call him on it, and he's like, "Oh, okay, maybe I was."
Yeah, that's what I mean by he's not sure of his position. He hadn't thought it through, right? Once he thinks it through, he'll change it, or he'll cope.
Well, he moves the goalpost like
right, and that's a cope.
Else.
That's a cope, right? Is when you change the.
He does hate Andrew, and he does spurg out. That both of those are true. John Mosman sends in $2 American. Thank you, sir. Hey, Grid, good to see you, sir. Good to see you, John Mosman. I'm missing you. You know that we're doing a debate stream, my man, Mosman. You know that, right? We do a debate show, blood sport. We win money, which, by the way, I need to pay out Beth. I need to figure out how much we made the other night and pay Beth out.
Yeah, Mosman, Saturday night, be here or wait, I can't say that on YouTube. Be here or be a loser.
Yeah, I think you can say it, but then I have to private the stream and all that.
Yeah, that would be bad. You can't say the things you can say on Rumble.
You can. You just have to treat it right. And I don't like Rumble. I don't like Rumble at all. I did stream there for a little while.
Yeah, I remember that. I don't ever go there anymore. Only reason I went there was because why did I get a Rumble? I can't even remember why I had a Rumble account in the first place.
Well, I did it for some reason.
Yeah, I think it was because I got tired of being censored on Facebook and I was trying new places.
I feel like there's an interesting story behind non-Fon's adherence to his financial theory because it doesn't make any sense, and it's literally.
Annapolis donated $50 super chat for the stream grift.
There we go. I got it triggered there for him. So it would be great to understand why non-Fon thinks what he thinks, because he literally just basically regurgitates his textbook.
Well, and there's a lot of people that do that, but they don't have the balls to go out in public and regurgitate it when arguing with other people, right? And that's why I've taken the position when talking about him that he has the potential to improve, because he's actually in a position where he's challenging his basic level worldview. Like, he's a midwit, right? He hasn't had the experience.
Did you say midwit?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's intelligent enough to argue about things, but only repeat the things that he's been told.
I have noticed that. So when I first met or first learned of Non-Fond, it was Tiki Tak was debating him on tariffs, and they had this Middle Eastern guy who was also debating tariffs. So it was basically a 2-on-1, and I got in, but I wasn't really up to speed on where they were coming from on the tariffs, and so I kind of was like, I was that much help. And then Non-Fond debated maybe Glenn or somebody, and kind of I don't know. I don't know. He basically, Tiki Tak was trying to help him out, and some other guys were trying to help him out. I've stopped by his stream a couple of times, talked to him. That's all. I don't know. It's just a weird deal.
Yeah,
but I keep expecting like a really good argument, like a really good one.
Well,
I don't get an argument. I get a classroom lesson couched as an argument and portrayed as in this way that, well, you can't beat it because it's fact. It's in my textbook,
right?
And I'm like, no, none of that means anything.
Well, he considers the court-approved, version, the version in the textbook of economics as an empirical truth, right? And he doesn't view economics as a philosophy. He views it as a science because it has numbers. But the reality of economics is that it uses models that are similar to science, but those models fall apart depending on what presuppositions you have that are baked into the models. And he doesn't really understand, like, and this is a problem that a lot of the atheists have too when they're arguing things. They don't understand that just because you have facts, that doesn't mean that you can compile that into some sort of coherent worldview without appealing to my preference, right? And so he hasn't done that sort of reasoning where he's trying to figure out why he thinks what he thinks and challenging what he's been told yet. Right. Yeah. And that's a higher level of thinking where you're questioning what you're being told. And I don't think he's done that enough.
No, he hasn't. And I wasn't even able to get into the fact that Keynesian economics is dog water, and almost everybody uses it, especially free market economies use a version of Austrian model, and Austrian Keynesian cannot exist in the same space. It just can't, even though they keep trying to do this like neo-Keynesian thing. That's not how any of that shit works. So anyway, I wasn't able to get into that the other night, but that's cool. Hey, Grumple, I've got this cool stream of your buddy Connor here. Or the clip, not a stream. This is from the other night. This is him telling Admiral Gibbs that well, you just watch.
Oh,
it.
thank you.
Does it get you what you fucking want?
No. You are subhuman. You are subhuman. You can't say that. Complex ideas. You don't understand complex ideas.
It's not a complex idea. You're rejecting complex ideas.
No,
yeah, basically, this is what we do.
Connor, wait, give them credit.
I got a definition word for it.
I think they're right about something.
Lactoid. In law, did you ever have to study psychology? Because I think what we're experiencing right here is one word: projection. He's so dumb that he can't understand complex topics. So his defense is to call us dumb whenever we point out the inconsistencies of this argument. Subhuman. That's a very Nazi argument. Do you have your white pointy hat anywhere? Because that's what I'm waiting for next.
Yeah, I'm more racist than you. I also believe in eugenics. I still think you're a massive retarded piece of shit, and I wish that you would get a
we got a racist eugenics guy here. That's good, guys.
And there we go. That was funny. That was funny. Did you think it was funny, Anson?
Well, I didn't really catch the humorous part. So he's a what, a fascist in the right wing sense, and that was the whole joke. Or
he's a social conservative, man. He's a social conservative.
Yeah, but okay.
I'm just saying.
He sounds more like a social Darwinist. So
he's a social something.
Man,
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but he's that. That's the thing that he is.
At Agrilapolis, man, he sent 10 more of those gift
10
numbers.
more.
He got
and he got Grumpelstiltskin. I saw that.
He got Rachel Wilson too. Yeah,
that's cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah, that Agrilapolis guy's all right.
What do you guys think of the new? So I do generic thumbnails. So I've got the new one. It's the one that I think that guy's name JC, or I think I forget which one it was, but one of the guys from the whatever chat made for me, and it just says "just be cool." What do you guys think? Is that a pretty good? Is that a pretty good thumbnail? Universal thumbnail. I can just add to various things, and it'd be cool.
Which one are you talking about?
It's not the one from tonight. The one that I guess it is the one from tonight. Is it where it says "just be cool"?
Oh yeah, the one with you where it says "just be cool" in front, and it's got you with the checkered mask on and the
yeah.
That one's all right. That one's all right. It's not to scale though. There's no like rotundness for the guy.
What the hell? Who's calling me? Frick. It was funny. I was getting a Discord call in the middle of the show. Like, what the hell?
Joel, you're a popular man.
Apparently so.
I'll call you on Discord too, just to distract you some more.
No. You don't have to do that. You don't. You don't have to.
Well,
I can see you just fine.
I'm willing to do my part.
I know you are. Everybody gets a membership.
You get a membership. Yeah, the Crucible Ghost gets a membership. Oh, Crucible Limited.
Oh, that guy's funny. I was in a chat with that dude once, and his brother was like putting him up to debate or something, and it was like, I don't think you want to do that. Anyway, it was funny. I thought it was very funny. So very, very funny. So what else is new, Andrew? I mean, Andrew. What else is new, Anson? Before we
Well, I received one of the best compliments I've gotten in a long time by you accidentally calling me Andrew, so I appreciate that. No, I've got not much else going on. I mean, I've been doing some reading and research, trying to prepare for the next debates or whatever, and I've got the listing of the debate prompts that you suggested, and I'll get you a bunch of them out there for suggestions. The arrogance and pride though is really something, man. I've been on some panels lately discussing pride and how that works into decision making and female, I guess, male dynamics, and the insistence on being able to magically think that you can understand what other people are saying because you've applied your worldview to what the words that are coming out of their mouth. That happens a lot, especially in the red pill feminist conversations. People talk past each other constantly because of their own pride and their positions. And I mean, that's that arrogance thing, man. That's a really good topic for debate.
Actually, if you could get if you could come up with a topic that was like, why do you find yourself being arrogant or something like that, or are you arrogant in this situation? That probably would be a truly great debate.
Yeah. Yeah. Or like, why did you stop beating your wife? Like, that's a good one too. I like those kind.
Have you stopped beating your wife?
Yeah, there you go. That's how you phrase it. Good question, Grid. Yeah, I did. Of course I did. The better thing is when. When did you stop beating your wife?
Mm-hmm. Sure. That's funny. Ladies and gentlemen, I am appreciative for all of the grift tonight. Agrillipus, Kissy Cat, I think, threw a little bit of money this way. John Mosman helped out. Man, you guys are rock stars. I really do appreciate it. And I'm glad that we had a great show tonight. It was really good between Admiral Gibbs showing up and being just hilarious. We had Tyler here. Obviously, he was smoked out. I don't know how that guy functions. Anson's been up here almost the whole show. He's been holding it down really well. And honestly, it's been a really great show tonight. Pretty happy overall. And looking forward to tomorrow's debate. I'm planning to do tomorrow's daytime show, but I may not because of the afternoon show. It depends on what kind of work I need to get done. I'm going to send you guys over to the Powder Dusty. And we'll try and help him out. He's doing pretty well. It looks like he's got a great show going on. I may hop up on the stage for just a minute or two. Beth, good to see you in the chat as well. You should have come on up and jabbered with us for a little while. And at any rate, I hope everyone has a great night. Anson, you want to say your good nights?
Yeah, you can catch me over at Chairman of the Board on YouTube. I stream every Monday night at 9 p.m. Central, talking about Machiavellian thinking, power dynamics, changes in power, and debates and things of that nature. So come on over and check it out. It's going to be super boring, and you won't want to subscribe.
Perfect. Flawless victory. Beth, no worries. I'm glad that you're having a great night. Good to see everyone in the chat tonight, even those that only came for a little while and then bounced out, as the case may be. Enjoy the trip over to Powder Dusty. I was going to send you to Andrew, but he's doing another debate prep for Destiny, and that seems suboptimal. So, Powder Dusty is going to be funny. It's going to be very entertaining. So you guys have a great rest of your night, and be cool. Wear glasses if you need them, and get on.